Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning show, specifically another transfer watch show on Chelsea Perspective. We'll talk about Ryan Cherki, Dusan Vlahovic, Moises Caicedo, Kolo, Muani, and all the names, plus Hakim, Ziyech, and other names, Aubameyang too. And plus, we'll go ahead to discuss other topics that most likely some of you in the chat will bring up. We'll also, the truth is we don't have it. The stories are again transfer stories related to Chelsea Football Club revolving around just two individuals, mainly Moises Caicedo and at this point Ryan Cherki. But beyond that, the truth remains we have so little to talk about, but we'll talk so much about that little stuff we have to talk about. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, once again, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, working a blue, and overall living the blue life. As for me, that's all I do. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show straight away. First, as usual, I have to say hello to those of you in the chat because that's how we operate. We keep it interactive here. The first person in the chat is my friend, Ambro Chelsea Mitchell Boy. I appreciate you finding the time to join. If you haven't, please go check out Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. Let's help him grow. Let's see you tomorrow. Definitely coming on if you have a show at 11. Is that 11 a.m. UK? And that's not a problem. As long as you're interested to join, just hit me up on Twitter. And if I see it in time, I'll send you the link. I was on Carefree Lewis's channel yesterday. Okay, good for you, Nishi. I appreciate you telling us that. Good morning, lads. I said football edits and transfers. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well, brother. And I appreciate you finding the time to join. Yo, to you too. I hope you're doing well. When does and that's football edits and transfer. I think I said hello to you. When does it start? It's half an hour into it. Sometimes it's not that straightforward. Sometimes I may need to work up probably because it's 3:34. Usually I wake up 2 a.m. to start researching. And sometimes I have to change the items I have lined up for discussion because things have changed around, if that makes sense. And you simply cannot talk about everything. Wiki Coach, it says Constantine Dante, I appreciate you joining. Jerry Z, always nice to see you, brother. Jerry Z says, here I am, this is me. There's no place on earth I'd rather be. Where's Coach? I'm here, as you can see by yourself. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. It's that time of the year. Nice to hear that from you. 26 likes already. Appreciate you all. I think we're moving quick this morning. Let's try and get it to 200 or 300 likes as soon as possible. Without wasting much of your time, let's start getting the items we have lined up. And if we can get through it on time, then we'll call it a day. There's nothing wrong in that. Appreciate you all. This report here says that Liverpool, rumors are, we were told Liverpool wants to sign, you can say Liverpool are one of the clubs that wants to sign Levi Colwill. It turns out that's not true. This says Liverpool are not negotiating with Chelsea because it's a different case here because they know he's untouchable. He's not for sale. Chelsea's message is clear. Colwill is the future of Chelsea Football Club. And hopefully he believes that and sees it in the same line and won't hesitate in putting pen to paper for another a new long-term contract. But because if it doesn't, it becomes a risk for the club, and they'd have no other option. Chelsea will have no other option than to sell him in the coming season, probably for less. Because he'll have just a year left on his contract at that point. So there isn't much to say about Levi Colwill's Chelsea future, except if you're in the chat and you have anything else to add to that, Go ahead, do that, and I'll be glad to get your opinion there. Big up to all of you. And so I'm going to continue. If anybody comes on the panel to help, not get you bored with just my voice alone and my opinions, so you can have a diversified contribution from the panelists, that will be fine. If not, I like rolling with you, but we don't have so much in the chat, so I will just straight away go to the next item we have lined up. But more importantly, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. So I'm seeing somebody heads out on loan. Let me see if I can find that quickly. Okay, ranking completes a loan switch. As a kid, I don't know. It's a shame that I don't know the academy kids are too many. I don't know too many of them. But let's see the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And for those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you and thank you for always joining. You watching alone does go a long way. But if you can do us one more favor, which is just to take a second and drop a like on the stream, we'd really appreciate that. So let's see what next we have lined up here. Before I move on from Levi Colwill, we were told that he was going to meet with Mauricio Pochettino. I don't know if that meeting has taken place yet, and I cannot wait to hear the outcome, because you could say that will what will decide whether he stays or not. Because Mauricio Pochettino has his own ideas, and during the meeting, I believe Levi Colwill will present his demands, what he wants, whether it's game time or whether it's just getting enough game time, or whether it's just playing week in, week out. We don't know until that conversation takes place. This is the man of the most talked about transfer for Chelsea this particular window. This says that Moises Caicedo to Chelsea is slowly advancing. Chelsea and Brighton are now discussing the fixed fee amount. Chelsea wanted to close off for 17 million plus add-ons, but Brighton will not accept this work in progress. So this is nothing new here. This is just recycled information, because we've heard something similar a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Actually, nothing has changed, and we've seen also some reports that you could say focus on this aspect of this particular report here. You could say, yep, Chelsea and Brighton are now discussing the fixed amount. Was it Felix Johnson? I think so. I did see somebody that talked about that Chelsea and Brighton are making progress, and that all that is left, they've agreed on the fee. That all that is left is the payment, the structure of the payment, and how much Chelsea has to pay first, and all that. So I'm not too sure. Nothing new here. This is something we've seen before. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And this is, bro, I haven't seen you in a few days right now. Brianni Yahayu, aka 343 Dilemma, aka Vifel FC, aka one more Contender FC, and now Jackson CFC. I hope you're doing well, brother. I haven't seen you in a few days. Please do let us know you're okay. More importantly, but big up to you. Let's see. As much as I understand that bills don't pay themselves and that we're all busy, chances are anything else can happen. So that's why I'm asking to know if you're okay. The brother, DOAC did an interview. Oh, are you talking about Dele Alli? Did an interview with Lampard, and it was revealed that what happened. Who, I don't know. No, not Dele Alli. Dele Alli's interview was with one of the Nevilles. And it was revealed what happened, I think. I haven't watched it. Maybe I need to watch it to be well-educated and watch your reference in there. But big up to you. More importantly, nice to see you. Code Web says Lukaku will join Chelsea under 17 if Inter Milan does not close the deal. So we may still end up with Lukaku. I don't think so, but we'll talk about more of that in a bit. Tamidayo Oluwaloka, really nice to see you, brother. Good morning to you too, brother. I appreciate you. The Prince is here. I appreciate you, Prince, for finding the time to join. No, a YouTube channel. Oh, I'm not. Okay, I'll check it. Not Dele Alli's interview with what's his name? One of the Nevilles. So, but yeah, thank you. So right now, your thoughts on where we're at with the Moises Caicedo pursuit. Do you think we can still sign him? Or maybe for you, you're concerned we're not going to be able to get it over the line. For me, I think we'll end up signing him. I think the fact that we're still locked in negotiations with Brighton simply means he's a priority signing for us. We want to sign him. We'll do whatever we can to sign him. I don't think we'll be wasting nearly a month now or beyond that. If we're counting the past transfer windows, then you could argue, yeah, it's been like we've been going after Moises Caicedo for years now. So right now, I'd say I think I'm confident he wants to join it. We've agreed personal terms with him. And his, again, during an interview a few days ago, he said how big, that he wouldn't say no to Chelsea Football Club, talked about how big of a club Chelsea is, a historic club and all that. And that's the second time. He did one a few years ago also where he talked about how he likes Chelsea and all that. So it's looking good for us, given more importantly, the player's preferred destination is at Chelsea, even though we don't have Champions League football. For some reason, he just wants to come to us. So we should do whatever we can to get that deal over the line. And he's made it public again, even though that you have to, again, it's common sense to learn from what he said with regards to how big of a club Chelsea is and how historic of a club Chelsea is. Okay, that just shows you that he wants to come to us. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. So I want to get your thoughts. Do you think we can still get that deal over the line, or are you concerned that it's not going to happen? Who cares about Lampard? Lams is another man. He's just trying to cover up his failures to land another job in the interview. It's as simple as that. He will make good excuses, make it sound believable, and probably some pretend clubs that are looking at him could listen to that and say, you know what, it wasn't his fault. Let's give him a chance. But I don't see that happening. So right now, your opinion: do you think we can still get the Moises Caicedo deal over the line? Or do you think it will never happen? For me, I think it will happen. Everything that has happened around the pursuit of Moises Caicedo points, like I said, to the direction that we'll end up getting the deal over the line. Moises Caicedo, has he joined Chelsea yet? Sekoto joined us, not yet. You see, as you can see on the screen, the report. I'm going to read it once more. Says breaking news: Moises Caicedo to Chelsea is slowly advancing, and the focus of you can say the main point of this particular report. It said that Chelsea and Brighton are now discussing the fixed amount. That is how much we pay upfront before anything else. So to me, that is a good sign. So let's hear your opinion. Do you think we can still sign him, or do you think it will never happen? Chelsea, my team, and that's Kabinga Joel. Chelsea, my team, need only two players, one midfielder and a striker. Thus, Moises Caicedo and Dusan Vlahovic. If you haven't heard, again, but more importantly, let's keep the topics aligned, because if I keep going back and forth like this, it can be exhausting. But feel free, have conversation with your fellow Chelsea fans in the chat there. But you don't want me to be skipping your comment and seeing it as if you're having a conversation with other people. You mentioned Cherki. We'll talk about that in a bit. Hello to you too, Adebayo Balogun. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. The Prince is here. So what's the Prince saying? Chelsea should handle Inter Milan very well, because it seems that the whole thing, planned with Lukaku and Inter Milan may get Lukaku and resell him to Saudi Arabia after some months in order to make Chelsea regret that. And again, I think I feel the same way too. Lams may get the job at Stoke City or Berlin in Germany. Let's see what happens. Big up, Kuchila. Big up to you too, Sterling. I appreciate you joining one day. Keep up the good work. Thank you for taking the time to say that. So, your thoughts on the Chelsea's Moises Caicedo pursuit? What do you think will happen? Do you think we'll get the deal over the line, or do you think we're missing out on this one? For me, we are. You could say we're too invested to pull out from this one. I think we'll get it over the line, and the fact that we've been talking with Brighton just shows we're making progress. But it looks like not so much is leaking from what's going on these days. Let's see what else we have here. CodeWeb says, personally, I think 100 million is too high. It will also mean that we spent over 200 million for Enzo and Caicedo. So, Coach, I think we should buy two players for 100 million instead of a single player. I think also, I don't think we'll pay that much. I think here's the thing. We've talked about this before, but let me say we've addressed that issue before. You can say, or the reason that we're going to pay something close to 100 million or something north of 100 million pounds just because Rice Arsenal will be paying West Ham United that much money. To me, I don't think so. I get it. It is believable. I don't believe it. But I don't believe it. It's believable in the sense that it's easy to think that, yeah, Arsenal, because they're paying that much money for to West Ham United for Declan Rice, that Brighton will want also something closer to that amount or even bigger than that. But that's just people's opinion. They put it out there knowing that we'll suck up to it because we know our club is pursuing, trying to sign Moises Caicedo from Brighton. Chelsea needs a striker of Raul, of fourth caliber. Jonas, they say, Coach, we need players, and we are focused on Caicedo. Checking my head. Here's the thing. I'm going to say something I've said before. The fact that we don't know what players all the players that Chelsea are currently looking at or players we're trying to sign doesn't mean that we're not looking at players or trying to sign other players. It's just because maybe they found a way. You can say to stop. To maybe they prefer walking under the radar. Maybe in silence. Maybe they don't want too much noise surrounding the players they want to sign because that can also cause problems. If that makes sense. Let's see what else we have in the chat here. Enzo won the World Cup and won the Young Player of the Year, and yet Enzo was overpriced. In Norway, Caicedo should be the same price as Enzo Fernandez. You could argue that, but circumstances differ. But that's just my opinion. But let's see. Just remember, I told you I don't think we'll pay 100 million. Kachila, for me, I think we should push more harder to get Caicedo signed, and Chelsea cannot afford to lose him to another club. I've said this before, and I think I've heard others say the same thing. Caicedo will be, should be our top priority and probably one of our most important signings of this particular transfer window because we do need them. We're very thin in the midfield area. We have too many young players. They're inexperienced. We need experience. Caicedo, I get it. He's still, you could argue, almost in the same age bracket as Santos and the other young midfielders we have. But he's played more. He's got more experience in the Premier League and has shown that, he's capable. He's, again, and has done well overall in the Premier League. But that's just my opinion. But that's, by the way, I have Ty on the panel here. Let me see what he has to say. Ty, big up to you, first of all. I hope you're doing well. What do you make of the Moises Caicedo situation? For me, I think this is recycled. This is something we've heard before. We've heard something to the effect of Chelsea and Brighton discussing the fixed amount. It's nothing new here. But do you have any update with regards to that, or do you want to speak about this particular report? Up to you, Ty.
Big up.
Big up to you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. This sounds like something that we've always heard. It seems like it's really recycled. And to be fair, the only way I can look at it to say is that it's some sort of assurance to fans to know that to let them know that that it's not a case where the club aren't working on it, and that should be an indication to fans to know that there's still work being done behind the scenes, and it's slowly advancing, as Fabrizio Romano puts it. And I don't know, it's to me, I still have that same thought that the longer it takes, the more likely it is that we're priced out of a move, and Brighton have always been a club to be hard to negotiate with. So I'm not sure, but it seems recycled. It seems like something that we've always heard, that it's always about discussing the fixed fee amount, and that Brighton want something higher than that, and add-ons need to be higher, or the fixed fee should be higher and add-ons should be more. The only way I can see this is that I think Brighton can budge, and Moises Caicedo has said it, and you have it in the title. He wants the move, so I'm not saying he's going to force the move in terms of do things to say that let me leave or whatever. But well, you never know. You may do that and say,
Yeah, he could snap.
yeah,
That could happen.
let me get
He
the move.
snapped the last time. So
Yeah,
given the fact that they have a gentleman's agreement, which is you don't have to oblige by that, but chances are at one point he may well snap. But go ahead.
yeah. So in terms of I don't think you do a toxic wing. He's not. He doesn't seem like that type of personality where he goes out and be toxic. But he may go to Brighton and say that let me get the move. The club is interested in me. They're the only club to really come in with any offer. Just allow me to leave as we had made this agreement earlier in the year. So it is recycled and it's basically the same thing every time there's an update on him. What it does indicate, like I said, is the fact that the club are still working, but it just means that there's not much of a progress there in terms of the the deal is closer, but what it does mean is that the clubs are locked in talks, and it means that there is a deal to be done, and it is possible to sign a player. It's about finding some agreement or finding some sort of compromise with Brighton because they have proven to be a club to make it hard, and it's just about what Chelsea are willing to do or how far they're willing to go to get the player.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think the truth is this, and I know you. I think you'd agree to that. The fact that we're so invested in it, I don't see us pulling out. I think this is a deal we'll get over the line. And if we've not been making progress, I think we're smart enough to sense that this is something that will not work out. And by now, would have said, you know what, we're no longer interested. Because time, I get it. The transfer window there's still a long way to go. But we don't want to waste time. So I see us getting that deal over the line. Let's see what the people in the chat has to say with that. Let's see. Stanley Onumba, I've read that. Thank you so much for saying that. Guys, follow and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to invite people and let's build the community together. And yep, thank you so much for saying that. And if you're in the chat, if you're interested in becoming a panelist, I'd find time to train you because the more hosts, becoming a host, the more hosts we have, the easier it would be on me. And the more we can always host, no matter what's going on, somebody else who has a better internet connection somewhere can host the show if I'm having an issue with my internet connection. So, yeah, smash the like button, people. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Says my bro, Martin. Oh, I appreciate you joining the show. And Code Web says, why not sign some other midfielder? That's why I'm telling you, I don't think we're wasting our time there. I think we're seeing positive signs from both Brighton and the players' camp. Also, who the players' camp, I don't think an agreement with the player isn't an issue. We've agreed personal terms with him. He wants to come to us. I think the only thing that is left is just to find an agreement with Brighton, and the deal is done. But yeah, at the same time, we don't have too much time. I get it. There's still a long way to go in the transfer market, but I think we should wrap it up as soon as possible. Not going to the extent of overpaying for the player. That would be an issue in so many ways, an added pressure on the player himself. Plus, yeah, we don't want that to happen anymore. So a midfielder, Vlahovic is a better choice of 100 to 120 million. Signing Vlahovic will be a very, very difficult, given that the likes of PSG are also interested in signing the Serbian international. Let's see. Is there a new update here? No. Okay. This says one direction that have earned our directors have earned our trust in negotiations during this window. So I am confident. I think I've said that to myself. The way they've handled the outgoings, how much we've we've earned from selling. We've brought in from selling players. I'm impressed at that. Really, some were in a hurry to say just take the money and run, and we were reluctant to sell. First, second, I think it took 3 bids for Arsenal to sign is it 2-3 bids for Arsenal to sign a Kai Havertz? Manchester United, I think, 3 bids in total to sign Mason Mount. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least not. We didn't show any sign of desperation. We valued the players at a certain price, and we ended up selling them something close to that, or even that price, that our valuation of the player in particular. My own, are we signing another midfielder even after we sign a Caicedo? Yeah, for sure. But I don't think we'll be in a rush to sign another midfielder until we see how the youngsters we have within our ranks do during the preseason, because that midfield department needs enough good players. We've lost Kante, Mateo Kovacic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So yeah, we do need players in that area, if that makes sense. I need Florian Wirtz. It's up to the manager to decide. Looks like our priority is to sign what's his name? To sign Ryan Cherki. Please, let's keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to skip your contribution in the chat. You have every right, have conversation with someone that's in the chat, but the truth remains it can be exhausting to be switching between topics like this. It doesn't help. It's weird. Pat should have a pact with the club, not manager. Deserve can walk away from the job anytime, and the pact is off, and he has no say in terms of what players. I think he could say a player is not in his plan, but it's up to the club to say, okay, let's find a buyer. So yeah, I think I agree with you. It's a weird one. If we're being truthful here, the pact should be with the club, and actually you could say let it be on paper. And what players do these days is, they ensure that they have a buyout clause on their contract, if that makes sense. But that's not the case, and that you can say. That's the reason why Arsenal got Enzo Sfola, Argentine international, McAllister for cheap. And look how much we're still talking with Brighton and still haven't come to an agreement, if that makes sense. You're interested. Okay, hit me up via Twitter. Let's talk. I can train you in a few days. That will make it easy on me. That way we will not have issues hosting shows even when I'm not available. Did Chelsea sign another goalkeeper? Not yet, and that may well happen, given the reports that the CS are interested in signing Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea Football Club, and that's not surprising, given that the new PSG manager is former Spanish national team coach Luis Enrique. So the Chelsea likes Kepa that much and would want to, bring him. You could say take him to PSG. Let's see that happens. So that he's another player that divides opinion in the Chelsea fan base. So maybe we'll have less of that toxicity within the fan base, if that makes sense. So big up, coach, and all the rest. Big up to you, to God of Frogs. I appreciate you finding the time to join. On the moment, as much as I like Vlahovic, I do not even consider wanting him if it's going to cost 100 to 120 million. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get him for cheap. And what I mean was that for 120 million, buy Vlahovic and a midfielder instead of throwing that money on Caicedo. Okay, now I think your contribution in the chat is clearer now that I've read your second comment there. Okay, that makes sense. And then my bad at Caicedo. It's a bit weird. Like Jackson CFC said there, or Brianna Rohayu, if you prefer. Code Web, much love to you all. Let's see what else we have lined up here. We're at 48 likes already. Let's get the likes up. I appreciate you all that have found the time to join us here this morning. Let's keep the likes going, people. We're shooting for 300 likes. We've been averaging 150 likes for the past. We've averaged 150 likes for the past 10 days in a row, but we can get it to 200 and shoot for 300, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. This is another one, interesting one. It started, I thought it was just a rumor, but I think it's actually swirling. I think was serious about getting Ryan Cherki. How serious, I do not know, because there are other issues. Whether Leon president, whether he would agree to sell Ryan Cherki. Rumors are he's not looking to sell him, but we haven't seen anything that specifically says that they don't want to sell him. I think with full pay up, I think they'd sell him. He's contracted to Leon until is it 2025? I'll check that for you. But he's one player I'd like us to to sign this window, an attacking midfielder. And if you recall, I've always said beyond a defensive midfielder and a number 9, a goalkeeper, we still need an attacking midfielder. And I think you can say he's that profile of midfielder that I've always talked about. He's capable of pulling the rabbit out of the hat and helping the team win again. But Ty, let me hear you speak about this guy. How serious are we about signing him?
Very serious. I mean, when I first tweeted about him on June 30th, it was something that a lot of people didn't believe, and it was something that a lot of people could not get behind, because they're saying, why would we be going for a player of such nature when we have other players? But now now you can understand that there's some attacking players that are likely to leave. Hudson-Odoi could still leave. Fulham or a club
For
interested in him.
Hudson-Odoi, I'd say most definitely leave. He wants
Yeah,
to leave. The club wants to move him on. He's on
yeah,
his salary will always be an issue. Go ahead, Ty.
exactly. So in terms of that, um, there are players who could leave, and that also leaves slots open. Pulisic has been unveiled at AC Milan, so obviously you get some funds from that move, and that can facilitate a move for Turkey, and also Caicedo or any other midfield option.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of that, there's a very strong interest in the player. Lawrence Stewart is one of the directors that are focusing on this deal in particular. He's pushing for it. He's one of the individuals that are ensuring that the club know that going for Cherki would be a good investment. And yes, like you said, and it does remind me a bit of the situation with Enzo slightly. You have, believe it's the president who, or yeah, the president. He's not willing to really sell the player at this time, because obviously and the difference, this kind of difference with the situation with Benfica though. They're sanctioned and they have restrictions, so they can't really sign players. That in a sense they would not
Yeah.
like to lose important players, and so you can understand why they don't want to lose important players. So they do have doubts, but it's not all parties in that club are not willing
Mm-hmm.
to negotiate or willing to accept a bid if were to come in, and it's good enough, and it's feasible in their eyes. But one there's one person in particular that is not willing to really negotiate at all, because they don't want to lose such an important player, and he's been key for them. They've lost Malo Gusto, who was a promising player, and Malo Gusto is obviously one of the, and you've seen, and perhaps you've seen reports of that. He's one of the important persons in this deal. He's developed a good relationship with Turkey, obviously both being French, and as a result, it has pushed Turkey to be willing to join the club, because he has somebody there who he could relate to, and somebody that he knows well from Lyon. So obviously, it's a deal where the club are really pushing for, and they're going to be pushing for, and a bid could come in very very soon. So that is something to watch. But yeah, there's a very strong interest. It's a genuine interest. It's not hearsay. There's a lot of reporters now saying it. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano even said it, that there's an interest there, and that Chelsea do have an interest, and it's actually there. But I'm just happy that there's more reports coming out now, because I know that I got a lot of hate for saying it in the
Mm-hmm.
past. So I'm happy to see that people are actually saying that it's actually something that is true, and I'm not just making up things just because I want the player, and it's actually something that the club is actually looking to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brian Cherki, I think he's one player I'd like us to sign. I get it; he's still young. A lot of people, you could say, are debating that we should go for a more experienced player. I think he's kind of, you could say, good enough experience, and with more playing time, he's become even more polished. But I think such talents are rare, very rare. So we should try and get them. It's a rare talent. We shouldn't miss out on that one. If in fact, from what we're hearing, that he actually wants to come to us. He wants to join Chelsea. He wants to get the opportunity to play alongside his former teammate in Malo Gusto or Malo Gusto. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but let's see what happens. And Martino is saying we inquired about his fee on Saturday, And and if we got the response, which means he's for sale. Like if we can pay up, let's sell him to us. Coach, I'd like to show you his impressive scouting report, like we did for Enzo in January. He is the best in expected assists in Europe, and that shows you how good he is. And with that alone, I believe you. No need to even go further. I've seen beat myself, and I know how good he can be. But I hope we sign him. And it actually, in so many departments with passes, expected assists and all that, I think it's one of the in the 99th percentile globally. Paulo Dybala's negotiations is slow as well, or Chelsea are not interested again. We actually need first-class players to compete with top clubs like Manchester United, Man U, Manchester City, Man U, and Arsenal next in the 23-24 season. I don't know what to make of the Paulo Dybala report, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Right now, we're talking about Ryan Cherki. Adeba Makunju, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Leon is willing to sell for £35 million. It's been confirmed. Also, he is just 19. £35 million is not a bad fee. Honestly, I'd snap him off immediately, pay the fee, get the key. Even I wouldn't mind us signing him and leaving him there on loan until the rest of the season. He's such a talent. But if we can get him, I think get the deal across the line and get him to join us immediately. Believe me, he'd make an impact. He'd hit the ground running immediately because, he's such a talent. If that makes sense, big up. Also, kindly bless up the likes. We're at 54 likes right now. It's really growing fast. Let's take it, beef up the likes, take it to 100 and shoot for 200 as soon as possible. Leon in financial difficulties too. So the money would go a long way, even though we're hearing that they don't want to sell. The truth remains that sell him. They can't come out and say, okay, we have players on sale because we need money to balance our books or something. No club does that. Even though they want to sell him, they will never say that. Go ahead, Ty, you were saying something.
I'm saying and that's the most important thing. They don't want to sell him. That doesn't mean they won't sell him. Leicester City did not want to sell for Fana, but they sold him. Enzo Fernandez did not want to sell him in January. They wanted to wait until the summer where there would be more of a bidding war. They still sold him. There is an important part in that. Yeah, they don't want to sell him, but that doesn't mean they will not sell him if the right price comes in for them. And they think the price that the offer rather is good enough for them. So obviously there's a deal to be done, and obviously the fact that there's a price tag on him obviously means that he is for sale. You don't put, and I've said this before, you don't put a price on something if it's not for sale.
Just pay up, and it's worth it. And the good thing is that he wants to come to us, and we've actually been quite lucky these days. Even though we don't have European football, we see players eager to join us. That has surprised me really. Tamida, okay, just saying hello to somebody. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Aminato, so nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. Let's see what else we have here. Leon in financial crisis. Assist Juventus. Yeah, both of them. But I'm not too sure. Again, whether you can say that's a factor. Really, for being honest, that's one of the reasons why they end up saying Cherki. So I just want us to be the one to buy him because I'm quite sure, as much as I don't know what clubs are interested in signing him, given how good he is, I'm quite sure there will not be shortage of suitors for his signature. Jerry Z says, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And also, we are on TikTok, and I think on TikTok we're at 7,000 followers right now. As well on our blog at ChelseaPerspective.com. We are fully dedicated to delivering more captivating content in the future. So please make sure to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and also check out our blog, ChelseaPerspective.com. Read some of the delicious articles there and leave a comment. 2 articles by Ty, I think about 4 now or 5 from me, Mikhail, all this. And also Jerry Z has 2 delicious article on that on the website right now. Excuse me. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. the likes to go a long way. And Jerry, thank you for saying that. Ethan Ampadu is back at Chelsea. Yep, he's training with the first team. There's a chance he stays. I'm not hearing too much about the club wanting to sell him anymore, but there's a chance also he'll leave. At this point, I'd say it's 50-50, but I'm not too sure. Let's see what happens here. Hello to you, Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Yep, if you didn't say Tutula, I will ask you your ID. All good yesterday. I will say, yeah, all good, because I'm fine and I'm here. There are good players. Then there are specialists. He is a premium talent. 19, physical, and would cost us over 60 million next summer. So we'll better get the deal over the line right now. And Ty, something that Martin just mentioned right now. Cherki is also physical, which usually you don't see that from players that are as good as he is. Because usually when you see a highly technical, gifted player, usually they're not that physical. It takes time. Maybe you could say sometimes it takes some extra effort for them to become also physical at the same time. Sometimes when they focus on becoming physical, plus how good they are, sometimes they lose the flair in their game, if that makes sense. But he has everything. Ty, you feel that you want to talk about how this physical Cherki can be. I think that's one of the, you can say, attributes that makes him a special player. He's good on the ball, a good dribbler, can be explosive, and at the same time, physical. That's not very common. Usually, you see the player lacking in one of those departments. I'm just happy that we have active scouts. Yep, not only looking at how you can say established players that will cost us and the world to get our premium, that we have to pay premium to get. We're looking at raw talent, and he's not just raw. He's one that you can say if we sign him, I think he will be a plug and play. That is just my opinion. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And if you haven't, please also do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we hope to get to 14,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We're currently at 13,298, and that is not easy. So I appreciate you all. Let's see. Juve, love the pajama shirt, coach. It is not a pajama. Oh my goodness. I knew you were going to do something, but keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Cherki is a mighty mouse, a solid only. The only thing missing is pressure defensively, a bit lazy. But I think you've heard me. You heard me say when I said a minute ago or two that usually players do like in one department or the other, in one aspect or the other. But in this case, if the only thing he lacks is just the defensive aspect of the game, I don't have a problem. You can get a player to start improving in that aspect. We've seen that before. Hazard wasn't he didn't do much for us defensively, but at one point under Mourinho and I think under Conte also, he did his best. And sometimes, but he commits a lot of fouls when he tries to help defensively. But honestly, I take all the aspects of Cherki's game, and to heck with the defensive aspect. And he's still 19, so you can get him actually to start contributing defensively more than he's used to doing. So it's not like he's 24, 25. Then you'd say it would be a problem to try to get him to be doing well in that aspect. The Makalele FC, I appreciate you joining. Well done, coach. And thanks for the update. As always, I appreciate you more importantly for finding the time to join the show. That does go a long way. And if you can afford it, we have a membership that costs $2.99. It helps us to sponsor students every month. We call it the Stay in School Project. We've done it 3 times now. The first one was for $100. The second and third was for $50 each. And I'm happy that all the winners have all gotten their prize money. Appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. We get lots of penalties and free kicks. He take the attention away from others, and he is actually a creative. Yep, I've seen that. But thank you so much for you know him too well. And I appreciate you talking more about him. I know some people are skeptical. Some are saying we shouldn't sign him, but I'm one of those that say we should get him over the line because I've seen enough to know that, he brings us something different to the table.
I like that.
Vera, sorry?
I like what Martin you say. He's been a valid point, and you made a good reference to
Mhm.
Hazard, and he is like a young Hazard right now. Yeah, he's yeah. I heard something about physical, but that is one thing that he still needs to work on. Yeah, he has a good ability, and he has great ability on the ball in terms of balance and composing the ball and keeping it. But he does have some thing. But that's the point of just like he can improve with the in terms of defensively and showing effort defensively. He can
Mhm.
also develop in terms of further sorts of physicality and being able to do it. The point about winning penalties, that is one aspect. Yes, it's good to be able to go down, but sometimes it's not good to know that you have a player and they can go down easily.
And sometimes in the Premier League, especially, you become a target of
Yeah,
referees and all that, and
exactly.
the
And when I
pundits
see you
also.
diving,
Yeah, but I think Martin is mentioning in the sense that people will try to bring him down because he'd be mopping the floor with them. And Ty, I ask you this, but it looks like you were away from your desk at the point. How physical he is something that's not very common with players as good as him. Usually, players that are as good as him usually lack in that aspect, but he's got everything except for the defensive aspect of the game, which I think he can actually improve upon. And he's just 19. It's not like he's gotten to an age where you can say it'd be too difficult for him to learn to contribute defensively. But let's get it over the line. Honestly, if we get him over the line, then I won't be called. It won't be again. We're already we're seeing that we're going to miss out on the Russian. The Russian we wanted to sign. What's his name? So Ryan. What club is he joining? Actually, I don't quite recall. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're
that's
getting closer.
unfortunate.
Sorry.
I'm saying that's unfortunate. Yeah, there was some report that Arsenal is gonna he's on some I don't know what club it was. He's on their list, their
Yeah,
wish
he's on the
list.
verge of joining another club. That's what we're hearing. And it looks like we're pulled out of the deal entirely. To me, that says that there are many qualities that would make you love Turkey. Aside from his dribbling ability, he's good with both feet.
Acceleration.
Yep, yep, and completely physical. He even plays free kicks with both feet. So I don't know whether to say he's a dead ball specialist at this point, but more importantly, other qualities that he has, I think will you could say will make a difference. He he brings something different to the table for us. I agree with you, coach, but is that a Poch type of player? Yep, yep, a Poch type of player with even more. Cherki is a 10, mainly so centrally. His qualities are, again, if we play with 2-8, if we end up playing with a 3 at the back approach, and where the situation we play with 2-8, he can still play there. And from his qualities, actually, I wouldn't mind if the only place I'll find space for him would be on the flanks. I'd do that. Is that good? If that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 64 likes already. Let's shoot for 100 and go for 200 to 300 likes. If that, we can do that, actually. But thank you for saying that, Constantine Dante. You cannot ignore the defensive aspect. Yep, I agree with you. It's important. But a player at 19, that shouldn't be a worry. That shouldn't be a problem because you can get him to start improving in that aspect. The defensive aspect, we now have a lot of luxury players, especially our wingers who cannot effectively track back. It's concerning. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing: if you can get a traditional defensive midfielder, if you have 2 sixes who are effectively will be effective at protecting the defensive line, then with the people on the flanks, whether the wing backs or whether the full backs are doing their job, I don't think we'd have a problem. That is just my opinion, but I think we'll have a good mix there. But let's get him. Honestly, he brings something different. More importantly, and I've said this 1,000 times, he's just 19, still very young, which means you can mold him into something. You can help him become even more polished. even you can say more complete than helping him to improve in the defensive aspect of the game, if that makes sense. Let's keep it going, people. 65 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. Intelligent. Yep. More importantly, I like intelligent players. Honestly, uses both feet. He is like a Bernardo Silva, but actually likes to score and assist a lot. Thank you so much for saying that. And Ty has shared the link to his channel. He's getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. Let's have him get there. Santiago Muno, Martin, God of Frogs, all of you, Constantine Dante, Tani Dio, the Makalele FC. If you haven't, please go check out Tytalk's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's grow together, and you see how much he supports this channel whenever time allows. And again, he's a brother, more than a friend. He's become a brother. I see him as my younger brother and can do whatever I can to support him because he supports me too. But more importantly, it's pinned at the very top. Except if I decide to pin the link for the membership, that's the only time I bring it bring that down. Let me see. Is that the new report there? Let me see. Okay, not where it's for Fabrizio Romano, but not about Chelsea. We have Casadei and Carney who can also play in the 10 position. Yeah, but we don't need a single player there. We need more players. And Casadei, is he a 10 really? I'm not too sure. I'm not sure where he fits in his, you could say, his main position. Smash the like button, guys, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 66 likes. Let's keep it going up. Let's see what else we have here. I hope we give Casadei and Santos a proper chance this season. I think we will. Just to talk about, let's elaborate on that. Why I said I think that either again, there's a chance one of them both stays. There's a chance that both of them will stay. There's a chance either of the two players will stay. But here's the thing: we did address a report by Fabrizio Romano a week ago or so, saying we're still looking to sign midfielders, but first we want to wait and see how the preseason pans out. How to me, that translates to how the young midfielders we have within our ranks, how they do during the preseason. Then we'll have a good idea to what sort of midfielders we're looking at. We'll be looking to sign in, what sort of midfielders we have available to us, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Big up to you, Santiago Muno. I appreciate you joining the show this morning. I hope you're doing well. And let's see. Cherki is too slow. Really, that's the list of my concerns. Really, I take all the aspect of his game over him being slow. Really, but that's just my opinion. But Pat, thank you for joining. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Chelsea do not trust their own academy players. We have Ethan Ampadu who can play as a DM, and he is now exposed. Godfrey, again, we're not sure in this case. If it's good enough, I think he gets a chance. But I think they'll give him a run during the preseason. He's training with the first team, and we haven't heard too much with regards to his future or him leaving Chelsea. So he's still here with us, but let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Chelsea Sessions, somebody talking to Ty. We are with you, man. You are one of us, and you can be sure of the same influx of participants for your shows. And hopefully he starts streaming live soon so that we're scheduling the way once we're done here, we go over to his place. I think that will happen. But
I was about to cry a while ago, you know.
His you don't have to. We're family. His education is his priority right now. Once it's time to do that, I think he'll do that. Ryan must understand that he has to work. Oh yeah, that's the truth, and we know it. Talent alone is not sufficient. Go ask Mihailo Mudriki will tell you that. If you have talent and you work, you can go even further. Teammate quote about him. Yeah, I think he has to work. That's the truth. We can, if he comes to Chelsea, I think he'd hear people tell him about Eden Hazard, how again he wasn't able to reach the heights that we all believe that he's capable of reaching due to his lack of good work ethic, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Patrick Moga Manese Leju, nice to see you, brother. I hope I pronounce your names correctly. The three names you have there, first name, middle name, and last name. I usually like, I do like pronouncing people's names, but this is new to me. If I pronounce your name correctly, please do let me know. I'm sure Caicedo may be as good as having Lost Mountain Kante. I think most likely one of them will stay. Though I think both Caicedo and Andreas Santos will stay. I don't know, but I think most likely one of them will stay. Let's see what else we have here. And this is like a horror werewolf movie. Cherki is the next to be crossed with the Hazard bite. Let the young man be his own player, please, if he comes. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't think people should be comparing him or saying he's just like Eden Hazard, but I haven't seen that today. Just disclaimer, just to be honest, I haven't seen anybody say he's another Eden Hazard or so. Okay, just a report from Ben Jacobs before we continue here, just quickly so that I don't forget. Let me see what that says. It says Chelsea have 3 serious bidders for Romelu Lukaku and are continuing conversation with all of them. Inter is a viable option, but currently the lowest of the 3 bids and not yet the level Chelsea are looking for. So Inter, they're not paying up, which means I think we're not going to prioritize selling to Inter rather than either of the 2 other clubs, since Inter's own bid is, you can say, reported here as the lowest. But thank you for that. I appreciate you saying that. Thomas Bay, is always nice to see you. Hi, Coach. Hi to you too, Prene Asanda. I hope you're doing well. Just a little off topic. A friend of mine who is an Arsenal fan says that he doesn't think Haaland is that good. Ivan Toney, Kane scores the same, if not more goals for City. You agree? Why would I agree? You shouldn't even ask me that question. Haaland has come, he joined Chelsea and he's broken all sorts of records. They're not even close to him. Kane is good, but didn't score as much as Haaland this past season, if we're being honest with ourselves. So that's not even a question, a debate, actually. You shouldn't even be asking me that question. But more importantly, nice to see you, brother. Absolutely liked how you pronounced them. I'm from Uganda, my African bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for confirming that I pronounced your name correctly. Yeah, I think he just wants to get you talking. Ultimately, Cherki is a germ, and Poch would work wonders with him. It's not a starter yet, but a quality addition to the squad. And I think he gets a start, given that he brings something different to the table, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I agree. We should sign Cherki. It's great depth and a smart business too. Yep, getting him. If we don't get him now, if we go back for him next season, chances are he'd be again, his valuation will be up to 80 million pounds plus. So we should get him down. I don't want to hear us see us make the sort of mistake we made with in the case of Olorian, or how do you pronounce it? Let me just say Tchouameni. Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Big up to you too, Glenn. Pen, always nice to see you, brother. Panel and chat. The Hazard signal was shining, so I came to the rescue right away. So you're better, but nice to see you, brother. More importantly, let's see. We should wait until they sell Onana. I feel they are rushing to do ours first while they pretend to be broke. Yeah, but I don't think we're paying attention to how broke they are or how rich they are at this point. The good thing is that there are multiple clubs interested in signing Romelu Lukaku. The Saudis are willing to pay even more. I get that Lukaku, he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia at this point. But yeah, we are waiting for the highest bidder, nothing. So they're not gonna get us to sell him for cheap. We're already pissed at how much we're losing from the size of the L. We're gonna get to let him go. Let's see what else we have here. Aja, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Edikachi. London is blue. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, London is blue. And I thank you. I didn't say your name. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Big up, guys. I was asking what's wrong with Chelsea community not buying Caicedo? Okay, so you're gonna blame Chelsea community for not buying Caicedo. The guy is willing, but now things seem a bit slow. And how about other rumors? And the Caicedo, I think we've read that. I think talks are progressing slowly or gradually, if that's the language you prefer. For other rumors, Cherki, we're interested in signing Cherki. And Martin Ode is saying the chart that we've inquired about his transfer fee, his valuation, or how much the club will be willing to sell him. But that's, by the way, we'll move on from that. Other than that, you wait, sit back, relax. We'll get to other topics we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes. With 71 likes already, 29 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen as soon as possible. Big up to you, Roger. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this morning. I don't want to leave anything for you.
I know
that. But big up, Roger. Nice to have you on the panel this afternoon. It's afternoon for you. It's still 4:31 a.m. for me. But Roger, have you looked at by any chance taking the time to do some research on Ryan Cherki?
Good afternoon, good morning, gentlemen. Listen, I would be lying if I said I knew much about him. So I really don't. I've seen some highlights of him, but that's about it. My only question is, and I understand what you stated earlier, that if we don't get him, just like Tchouameni, he'd be costing a lot more golf balls next year.
Yeah.
And that's probably true. History has told us such. However, what does this say about our current players, like Carney?
Oh, I think he's a different player. He's a different profile player from Carney. I think we can have them both. We can have them both. But that's just my opinion. Plus, he wants to come to us too. But go ahead.
No, sure. What is his position? He's an attacking midfielder, is he not?
Yeah, he can play he can play as an 8. It depends, but mainly
which is primarily Carney's role, also, right?
In Carney's case, I have to be honest with you. I honestly do not know where Carney fits in this current team.
No, I get it. He could be a wide forward also. I get it. No,
he can also be an 8. We've seen him play as an 8 for us.
Yeah, right. Which is in the midfield, attacking midfield, right? So then, okay, what does that say about Santos then? Because that's his profile also.
I think Santos is more of a deep line player.
I look at him as okay. Listen, not that I'm an expert
box
on
to
him.
box.
Yeah, box to box. I would look at him more as a number 8 probably because of his attacking prowess and his ability to make runs, etc. Does that make sense?
It does.
Let me put my glasses on, sir. So you've got we won't even mention Conor Gallagher, but Lewis Hall, Hutchinson. I don't know, gentlemen.
Here's the thing. There is one of the reasons why the clubs will probably looking to sign Cherki. He's played first-team football more than those kids will mention it.
No, true. But then again, not in the Premier League. Carney's played in the Premier League quite a bit. Do you understand? He's not Premier League proven. That doesn't mean he can't play. I'm not saying he can't play at all. I don't want to give that impression. I'm just stating the obvious here. No, you're right. He's played probably more games, but in a different league. Does that make sense? Now that doesn't mean he can't play. He could excel and be a Ballon d'Or winner for us. I'm not saying otherwise. But you see my logic here. This to me. And I know, you have what's his name? The Australian chap, Cesar Casadei for us. Now, I know he's a holding midfielder more likely, but we have
Australian or Italian?
Italian. Did I say Australian? Sorry. Yeah, of course he's Italian. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. But do you understand what I'm saying? So you're looking at like 4 to 5 players that we already have that are young, that are in their early 20s / actually late teens for the most part. Amari Hutchinson's 19, so's Santos. Who else is there? Carney's 19. How old is Castella? He's 20. So wow, the senior of the 4. Does that make sense? So what does that say about them? True, they probably need to go.
More importantly. Yeah, go ahead. Let me let you drop.
Probably they need to go out and loan for another year. But I was hoping, probably naively, I can see that Santos would remain in the squad. And, I'm trying to think. And Lewis Hall, I think, would remain in the squad. And Carney. I think those three. I would love for the Italian, not the Australian, Caicedo to remain in the squad. But I think from what I hear, even though he looked great for Italy in the under-21s, etc. But let's be honest here, gentlemen. So, in other words, these players are not yet ready. So,
yeah, for being honest, they're not ready. And more importantly, I think, I know you don't know him, and you did put out that disclaimer.
Yeah, of course.
I think he differs from those players. He differs from Santos, differs from Caicedo.
Is he more advanced?
Even from Chukwuemeka, actually, it differs. It's a different profile from all of those players.
Okay, may I ask you a question? Is he by today's date? Is he a better player, more advanced, more mature player than Carney or
you can argue that?
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm arguing. Yeah. That's what I'm asking. Because if that's the case, then okay. But if he's not, and he's in the same category as them, then I'm asking myself, why? Does that, especially if we acquire him and put him out on loan, does that make sense?
Yeah, but we could sign him again, and you say I'd see Leon. I can see Leon saying just the same thing they did with Malo Gusto.
Yeah,
saying we'll sell him to you, but he stays with us until the end of the season. Or
what do you mean the end? It hasn't started yet, Coach.
Until the end of the upcoming season, so to speak.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
What did I miss? What did I miss, Coach?
No, you didn't miss anything. It hasn't started. Don't worry, you're not missing anything.
I get it. It's valid, Coach. It's valid. I get it.
Yeah. Iswala Laganada, nice to see you, brother. Quite the transfer week. Yeah. Let's see. Quiet transfer weeks. Yeah, it's been so quiet. It's been deafening too. Tamidayo Olunwa Rokemi says, guys, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and also check our blog at chelseaperspective.com. Also, to follow and support Chelsea sessions. We'll build it together. Yep, the link is pinned at the very top. Check out Titus YouTube channel and subscribe there. What about a good evening for me, Roger? Okay. Don't cry, Constantine. Good evening to you. I hope you're happy now.
You're dead to me, Constantine.
Yep. Fans should not expect any other big-name midfield players aside Caicedo. That is the trade-off. Possibly, but I think here's the thing. The truth remains, I think we'll sign at least one or two experienced midfielders. And we've heard also something to the effect of the manager. He's asked the club for experienced players to have a good balance. Cherki is not the priority. Why is Chelsea focusing on the wrong position? I'm not going to see it as we're focusing on the wrong position. We've signed about 3 players since we started pursuing. Since we started the talks, you can say the talks. Since we started hearing, and then we've agreed personal terms with Moises Caicedo. We've signed about 3 more players since then, haven't we? So that doesn't mean that we're going for Caicedo. Doesn't mean we're not looking at other players. Cherki prefers to play central, but given his qualities, he can actually play on the flanks. It's up again. Let's see. Interest. Yeah, I'm not going to say your name, so keep trying. And the next time I see you put something there, I will delete you. I will ban you. So does Carney. He likes to play central too. Hi to you too. Turk, I hope you're doing well. What's Chelsea waiting for the signing of Cherki? We're working on it. You don't sign a player by just snapping your finger. There's a process involved, and we have to go through that process. And like Martin O did say in the chat, we've inquired about it, his transfer fee, which means we're working on it and we're serious. And that's good scouting work, really. Is that how you pronounce this? Cheeky? Or you're talking about the guy? Cherki will be substituting Nkunku. It makes sense. And Roger, given that your argument, we should also be arguing signing Nkunku. Where does that leave Connie Chukwuemeka and the others? I think Connie, for me, he has a place in the team, given he can be a bit more versatile than most players will have. We don't have a Cherki profile. Connie, Caicedo, Santos, not the same. And you heard Roger's disclaimer. He doesn't know Cherki. He's seen a few highlights, but don't know him too well. And I like the honesty there too. Okay. Caicedo, my Aussie brother, Roger gave him to you, right? Roger, do you see that comment?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Yeah.
Keep dropping the likes. 80 likes already, people. We're doing well. Let's get it to 100. Yes, but it's a competition thing. Can we rely on Toney to perform to the level required to be in the top 4? Should Nkunku be injured? So yeah, we need numbers. I get it. We need numbers, and we've lost quite a few players. And chances are.
And my argument to that was João Felix.
Yeah, but in that case, it's about how much the selling club would ask for us, and his salary. You could say it was just a stopgap for us. We needed players then. We went.
He is a proven quality elite player.
Yeah. And if you remember, we did talk about how I'm not too sure. I told people I'm not too sure we can afford him.
No,
and it turns out that's the case.
Let's put it this way. If we weren't in this financial dilemma, we'll use that term. Okay. Yeah, I think we probably would have acquired him, or at least considered him more strongly. But I think financial consideration negated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, real question is, how much do you people value Cherki in euros or pounds? I think his current transfer they're asking. I think he said something like to 50 million euros, and that's not bad. A player of his quality, they're very rare.
50, right?
For being honest, yeah, 50, yeah.
Jeez.
50 million euros. Yeah. Then in pounds, it should be around 32 or so. I don't know.
That's over 40 million pounds, coach.
And that's not bad, given how good he is. He's a sort of player. Even after 2 years, if he wants to move on, you get a sizable fee from his sale.
Can I ask you a question? Does anyone know he how many caps does he have for his country?
No, he has. I don't know. He's played for I think under 21s. I'm not too sure if he has any cap for the senior French national team. He can actually decide to play for Algeria. I think he's Algerian, French Algerian.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see. But let's see what else we have here. Monica Media, Vlahovic. Is that French or Spanish? I'm not too sure. But it doesn't look like we're too serious about signing Dusan Vlahovic, because right now the phones are important for CDM and striker. Chances are we might actually end up not going for any traditional DM, but let's see what happens. Please, I need one striker. That's Nabike Junior John Paul. Thank you, Wande, for joining the show. I appreciate you. He says another 2 midfielders apart from Enzo and Moises, then one centre back again. I don't think we'll be signing any centre back except if we end up selling Chalova. But let's see. It all comes down to the manager. 35 million pounds. That's not bad. I think that's the cost. I am waiting. Your name is just not pleasant, and I like saying people's names before I read their comments. So I am waiting for Caicedo. Dixon Donald, I think we'll get that deal over the line for reasons we've explained. He's like great personal terms with us, and it's not hidden. He's made his feelings clear that he wants to join Chelsea, even though not direct. He said how Chelsea is a historic club, a big club, and how he wouldn't say no. Specifically, he would not say no to Chelsea, which means he wants to join Chelsea. And there's an interview about 2 years ago also where he talked about how he would like to play for Chelsea and something to that effect. He will cook on the porch. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Player profiles are different too. Carney is a Gundogan, but Cherki is like a Bernardo. Poch can cook with both. And the Cherki actually is physical too. That's one thing that I'm surprised. Usually, and I've talked about that. Usually, a player up that has that much quality in terms of dribbling, explosiveness, and all that usually lacks in that department. But he hasn't, except for the defensive aspect, which is not a worry for me. He's still 19 and can be nurtured to start contributing defensively more. This is the sad Chelsea mentality. These players like Sanders will be starting in Barcelona and will be trying to sign them. Yeah, that's Roger will be very proud of you. But they are at Chelsea, so they're not ready. This mentality must change. I think it must change. Sometimes we must give them opportunity. Game time, the more they play, the better they become. Or if you like the term, the more polished they become. Because usually the question is how polished are those players and how experienced are they. It takes playing time to garner enough experience to be ready. And I think I agree with you. I think that would change under the new ownership.
I think that would have happened last year, Coach, had we not gone out in the third round of each domestic cup.
Yeah, that would have. I think I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Coach, yeah, can I just quickly say something?
Go ahead.
I saw something about Tchouameni. I'm sorry, about the Spanish midfielder. What's his name? Tchouameni. And
the French midfielder.
Yeah,
plays in the Spanish La Liga.
Yeah, we could get him potentially for, if they want to get Mbappe, they would probably be offloading him for between 70 and 80 million pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is between 90 and 100 million euros. So, if that's the case, Mauricio, or anyone, including you, Ty, would you prefer Caicedo or Tchouameni? I think
I'd take Caicedo, in my opinion.
Really, actually, I would take Tchouameni because of his physicality, his height. And I know he's not proven in the Premier League.
He hasn't played in the Premier League.
No, I know, but as I said, previously, he is one of the very few players that I would be very surprised if he didn't excel in the Premier League. I think he's the type of player that can play in any league. He's that good. I really believe that's just me. It's like I've seen enough of Tchouameni. I've seen a lot of him, and I think he. Listen, who knows? Only time will tell. But I would prefer Tchouameni to Caicedo. Don't get me wrong. I mean, actually, they're quite different players, stylistically speaking. What about you, Ty? I'm just curious. Is Ty busy?
Yeah, I don't think he's there. Okay, he's there. Okay.
I would still go with Caicedo.
You would, okay.
Based on other attributes. Tchouameni offers more in terms of what he can add something to the attack. He has the ability to progress the ball as Caicedo does. But I would still go with Caicedo for the sole reason that he's more proven. He's not that proven, but he's more proven in the Premier League. Yes, Tchouameni, and it goes back to my point. I do think the French league is one of the closest leagues that you can come to the Premier League in terms of physicality, pace, and everything.
Sure.
So if it was a case of signing Tchouameni from there, I would say yes. From a league such as La Liga, where the tempo is a bit slower, you have more time on the ball to make.
Oh, it's completely different. I agree, completely different. But if you watch him play, for instance, internationally speaking, I know it's completely different kind of football because it's a lot slow paced, it's more pragmatic, etc. I concede that, but I listen. I could be 101% wrong, but I could see Tchouameni excelling in the Premier League. I think he has all the attributes. That's just my opinion. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, he do well, but at this point, Caicedo will be the signing with a lesser risk, given the fact.
Sure. I logically speaking, I agree with that to a certain extent.
I'm trying to be logical. If you can.
No, it's true though.
I'm just kidding. I know you've been to. I'm just kidding. Anyway,
and I like Caicedo. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Tchouameni is. Yeah, go ahead. Tchouameni is technical. He's also can be physical and also a good tackle of the ball and all that, and can help.
And he's better aerially. That's for sure.
Yeah.
However, listen, Caicedo is. I love watching him play, and to be honest with you, as I've said the last couple of weeks, if we don't sign him or someone of his ilk, then our season, we're going to languish in mediocrity. I believe that. I strongly believe that. I think we need a player of his quality. He's an elite player, and I think someone like him is equal to him, if not better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in so many ways.
Yeah. I like him. Don't get me wrong. I was just curious.
No, I like them both, but I consider risk in everything I do. The risks involved in everything I do. So I take Caicedo for the reason I've explained. He will be
okay. Other than that, okay. Hypothetically, if Tchouameni had played for Brighton also, okay, who would you rather have as a player?
If both of them, I'll take Tchouameni over him because there's more to his game. You can argue that it's just you can say, you know what, that is just, I'm basing that judgment on eye test alone.
Sure.
But if we look at the numbers, then we'll find out who will do more. Because I'm looking for who will be doing more in terms of protecting our defense. And Tchouameni, I would say Tchouameni can, out of the two, you can say actually Caicedo is more of a box-to-box midfielder than the two.
He's very similar to Kante. I'm not saying he's
exactly.
He's very similar.
Whereas Tchouameni, you could say leans towards a traditional DM.
Yeah, he's more prototypical, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, he hasn't played that much since he joined Madrid.
Yeah, no, he hasn't.
And that's actually a big issue too. So you don't know how that might have affected him as a player. Big up to you too, Bobby. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, Bobby, for saying that. We hope you're recovering well. We'll keep praying for you. Always nice to see you. Find time to join us here. I appreciate you. Hi, Coach. I heard about Cherki. Keen on joining Chelsea, and Caicedo wanting Chelsea move. Will that happen? Caicedo, to me, I'd say 90%. Cherki at this point, because you could argue just 50-50 at this point. But let's see what the club does next. We're now, but Patrick Joyce, nice to see you join us here. I appreciate you. We'll try and join the panel soon. Okay, if you have time, do join us. We'd really appreciate that. Good. Big up Bobby. Yeah, that's a sign he's doing well. And you're always telling that you're always asking after Bobby. You send him in the chat, and you sound like you're happy that from what he said, you're sensing that he's doing better. So I appreciate that. This guy, I think he's setting a trap. I'm not sure what he's saying. Coach, we only have 6 loan spots left. FIFA's new rule only allows 7 loan players per team. I think Bobby, Roger, you did talk about that the other day. And we're hearing that we're cautious about feeling we'll live in 2 spaces. We're not going to, whatever happens, we'll leave 2 loan spots open because we haven't decided on what player stays and what player leaves on loan. In terms of some of the high-profile names we've talked about with regards to whether they stay or go out on loan. I don't know. You want to talk about that more, or should I just move on?
No, we can move on. I need to look into it more, to be honest with you, also.
All right, Bobby, much love to you, to everybody in the chat. My brother Roger from the Goalkeepers Union. Yep. I like that one. Yes, Roger is the chairman of the Goalkeepers Union. He's present and correct. It's always good to see you and everyone on the panel. Roger, you cannot shade that title, and I confront that on you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, mate.
Also, big clubs have a 5-7 midfielders. Players will get injured or be on poor form. We do need more midfielders, and I think we'll sign more. But I've told you before, players will sign depends on how the youngsters we have within our ranks, how well they do during the preseason. Then the club will have a good idea to what profile of players they'd be looking. Chelsea still trying to get Lukaku or sell Lukaku. I think he means selling Lukaku. Yeah, we're still trying to sell him.
All you need to do is to put out at the end of that sentence.
Sorry?
All you need to put is out at the end of that sentence.
Oh, maybe out. Yeah, but I totally understand what he's trying to say there. It does happen sometimes. Your phone can help you. Your smartphones aren't that smart after all. They try to predict what you're trying to say, and if you're not paying attention, you just let it go. So yeah, we've addressed one of the items we have lined up here. There are up to 3 clubs that want to sign him, and the least bid has come from Inter Milan. So, but let's see what happens. Poch doesn't want Felix. I don't know. I think that's just the excuse we saw out there. Who wouldn't want Felix? Any good manager would want him. The truth remains, we just cannot afford him at this point. It's as simple as that. C-Man2549, nice to see you. Big up everyone, and a big up Coach. Big up to you too. Thank you for finding the time to join us. £40 million is the new 10 million. Inflation is mad. Yeah, inflation is crazy. Yeah. So thank you for saying that. I understood. I didn't even know. You misspelled it, but my brain was able to recognize that's what you're saying, and that's what leads to misspellings, because your brain looks at it, and as long as the first 3 letters, I think that's a research saying, as long as the first three letters and the last letter are part of the word you want to spell, your brain sees it as, okay, that's what they're trying to say, you move on. For striker, I need Martinez, that Inter Milan forward. For midfielder, I need Leao and Milan, and MD, I need Camavinga from Madrid. Good luck. Nabuke Junior on one day. Thank you. Good luck with all those names mentioning. Camavinga, I thought he just signed a new deal at Madrid, and they like him. He's actually able to play as a left back too, not just in the middle of the park, if that makes sense. But we still need Antonio Rudiger. Yeah, good luck. 14 million is how much Chelsea want for Lukaku. Not bad, given how much we paid for him. Please, Abdullahi Jaffa, nice to see you. Please, Chelsea need to get this guy, and the league is ours. Really? Why? You like him that much? Leon quoted 35 million pounds. Okay. Roger, I'm sure you're paying attention because it was Martin O that told us we've inquired his transfer fee. So he's saying Leon quoted 35 million pounds on Saturday after discussing with Chelsea's director, which means we're getting him. It looks like we're that serious about him. Machos or Trent, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. 40 million is okay. It's not bad. And the Chelsea meet your boy. I appreciate you. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. If you haven't, please go check out Meet Your Boy's YouTube channel. Click the three dots to his name. Click on Go to Channel. Go support him. Let's help him get to 1,000 as soon as possible too. He's Chelsea through and through and knows the club. You should hear him talk about Chelsea, and then you fall in love with him. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. How is Connie like a Gundogan? You have that conversation with them. I didn't say that, so not me. Coach, what were you talking about yesterday? Because I've missed it quite a lot. And honestly, if I start telling you what we didn't know, you didn't miss the show yesterday. We didn't host the show yesterday. Being honest, yeah, I just recalled. So no worries. Hilarious. Connie, not even near Gundogan. Excuse me. I'm coming. Connie is a different profile player, but I don't think we're talking about in the same, how I think Martin O was again why he made that reference. Martin, did you just compare Connie with Chukwuemeka? Okay, explain yourself if you're still in the chat there, Martin. I'm not going to fight for you. Player profile literally said it's there. Profile, no achievements. Let's see what else we have here. Breaking news: Everton have signed Ashley Young from Aston Villa. Okay, thank you for that update there. We finally get a new signing for Everton. Okay, thank you for saying that, Patrick Joyce. Tchouameni stop. Yeah, but you heard the reason why I take what's his name? I take Caicedo over Tchouameni. Because at this point you can say in the Premier League, Tchouameni the unknown. He hasn't played in the Premier League before. And Caicedo has played in the Premier League. So it's simple logic. You could argue that Caicedo will be assigned with the lesser risk than Tchouameni. And Tchouameni, he hasn't played that much since he's joined Madrid. I would take Tchouameni over Caicedo because he has played in the French league, which is very physical. He's a goal threat, and players from the French league do well at Chelsea. That's another way to see it. And let's see what else we have here. All the news: PSG joins the battle with Bayern to sign Harry Kane from Tottenham. Okay, thank you for saying that too. Let's see what else we have here. Bakayoko didn't do well. If we're saying that. We need height, physicality in the midfield defiantly. Tchouameni is that, but also for 30 million can get a kid from Thuram. You like that kid, I know. 97 likes, three more to get it to 100. Let's make it work. I recall Fabregas offering Tchouameni to Chelsea for 35 million, and Tuchel saying no. I don't think it was it Tuchel that said no, or maybe the club hierarchy feeling like we don't need to sign a player in that department. If Tuchel was here, he'd say no to Enzo, and he'd still be watching the Jorginho pass while wingers are making runs. I get your argument, and I don't think it was him that said no. I think it was the club's hierarchy. That's the term I want to use. I don't want to be pointing fingers at any individual. Christian Pulisic has now completed his medical. Thank you for saying that too. Let's see what else we have here. We keep saying Tchouameni, but is he really even available? I doubt it. I don't think he'd be. I argued he'd be available the other day, and somebody explained that since Modric and was the German international, Kroos, they're not getting any younger, and they've lost. They sold this guy to Manchester United, the Brazilian international. So they need numbers in that area. So probably Tchouameni will not be available. So good argument right there. Caicedo all the way, and Khalid Abdulhamid Habib, nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you joining. Caicedo move is going to happen. Brighton just wants all the money up front. If we're paying 80, 50, or 100, if we pay in installments, then that's where the problem lies. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that's special. All the breaking news: Southampton have signed Charles from Man City. The young kid. Okay, goalkeepers union. Yep, Roger is the chairman of the goalkeepers union. Hear me out. I think Carney should go on loan to a team like Luton. Then come back next summer to replace Gallagher, who would be sold for 45 million next summer. Okay, that is just your opinion. I don't be surprised if Gallagher stays it, become even better, and then the club will not consider selling him because there's a good player in him. That's just what I think. Maybe Lukaku is plotting with Inter to scam us so they can sell him to Saudi. I said that yesterday too. So I think that may well be the case for a premium and share the spoils. And they've scammed us already at this point. Honestly, that argument is believable. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. It's very, very believable. That's just my opinion. Coach, when you have American owners, everything must drastic movie styles. Too many plots, twists without transfer windows. You can argue that. But we'll get things done. Other news: Torres is now signed for Pau Torres. Yep, he's joined Aston Villa. They're making some good signings over there. And the soldier Noya, thank you so much for the donation there. I appreciate you. I think you probably missed the comment you want to accompany that. But more importantly, thank you for joining the community. Keep the topics aligned, people. Again, welcome. Just keep it civil. You're welcome to the community. Feel at home. Express yourself. Lampard is saying players question him. Have you seen that? And that brings me to the argument I made on Twitter. And everybody was saying again something like, someone actually mentioned my nationality, saying I don't understand football. I asked the question, given that he left Everton, where he left them, and joined us, and given how his first stint at Chelsea ended and all that, and how do they think that we're forgetting him because the players will respect him? How do they think that works? No, I get it.
Coach. Yeah. Can I just interject? I honestly, it's the equivalent of what in America they call what is the expression for a president that is not running for re-election?
It's called not deadwood.
It's a rubber duck or whatever it's called. I forget the expression.
But just go ahead. What you're saying.
But for the most part, I think whoever came in, because there seemed to be a lack of discipline, knowing that it's an interval, that he wasn't getting the permanent job. This is why.
Is it lame duck?
Lame duck, yeah. A lame duck president. There you go. So he's a lame duck coach. Their mentality. Listen, I know I'm being, shall we say, rather negative on younger players, but they look at him like, who the hell is this chap? He's not going to be here next year. He's a lame duck.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't think that has anything to do with Lampard per se. I think the vast majority of interval, temporary coaches who would have come in, I think it was only inevitable, the outcome. I really do believe that. And that's why I questioned. We should have either got rid of him, Potter I'm talking about, previously, earlier, prior to the international break, or kept him to the end of the year. And that's what transpired. I don't think it's because he had a poor spell as a manager in Everton.
To an extent, that was my argument then. But what you're saying, I think you could say, makes better sense than my argument then.
I don't think
so. But there's
a
chance if any player knows him too well and knows how his stint at Everton panned out, would actually question his tactical ability as a manager. But you go ahead with what you're saying.
I mean, there's some truth to that. I think it's the fact that, it's like that they've seen technically this was the fourth coach of the season. You started with Tuchel, then you had Graham Potter, then you had Bruno, and then Lampard. And it's like it's a merry-go-round. So when you're playing on that team, you're like, you've either seen 3 or 4 coaches. Well, okay, let's take out Bruno because that was for one game. So you've seen either 2 or 3 coaches, depending on which window you arrived. I think actually a lot of the younger players coming from the academy would probably look up to him more than the other players because he's a Chelsea legend. So I think that would have actually
the older players would have been the issue at the time.
Yeah, I think the older players that especially didn't play or come from the academy, I think they wouldn't have respected him because of the fact he's a lame duck coach.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Let's see, smash the like button, people. What 99 likes? It looks like we're going to get to 300 today. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200 as soon as we can. Because today carries the greatest goal threat. Santos are all round. Cherki, Flair, and Coney. What do we really want as a club? I don't know. It all comes down to what the manager wants, but we'll find out sooner than later. Watch Inter Milan sign Lukaku on the cheap and resell him to Saudi Arabia in a year's time for a premium. Yeah, I think we talked about that yesterday. It's suspicious, the whole how he can be, you could say, how he will not take that, you could say, mammoth bill from the Saudis and say he wants to go to Inter. So maybe he just wants to help them because he's an Inter Milan legend, given his how well he did for them that particular season where he was just one of the best strikers in Europe. I think probably will want to do them a favor in that regard. Martin, okay, keep you having a conversation there. Breaking news: Everton have made an offer, sign Toney Elanga from. I think I saw that too, but thank you. Let's keep it Chelsea transfers, please. In 3 days, both Brighton and Chelsea would depart for US tour. The question is, in which plane and where Caicedo be? I don't know. There's a chance we'll round the deal up before then, or there's a chance we just hear that he hasn't traveled with the Brighton team. Or since we're going to the US, there's a chance he still travels with them, since it would be easy for him to just go join the Chelsea camp if that's the case. So I'm not going to dwell on that particular one. I am convinced that we should get Dele Alli. Okay, good luck to you. Robert Doc. Okay, good morning, coach, and every member of the community. A lot of people miss all, and nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. Let's see what else we have here. Hard a pass on Dele Alli for me. I don't think he comes to Chelsea. He will not. I don't think we'll consider him. Lampard did this to rebrand his CV, but these does not look good on him. The interview, yeah, there's a chance that's the case, but I don't have time to look at it. Talking about your previous job, just months after, it's weird. Also, accusations of players not respecting him should come with names. Yeah, if that's the case. But here's the thing: let's just forget about that. What happened has happened. I want to move on from Lampard. I don't even want to remember the 22-23 season, if you ask me. But it will always come up. Yeah, an Inter legend. That's how I see it. Yeah, they'd respect him. I think you could argue that. He did a lot for them. Else, you are painting everyone with a bad brush, and that's not okay, really. Roger, did you analyze the Dele Alli interview? Roger, have you watched it?
The Dele Alli
Did you watch it?
No, I'm
an interview. I think with is that Neville one of the
Neville brothers?
So we don't need that.
Ty, I couldn't hear you. Say that again, sir.
I said
he said a lot of stuff. I think
I want to cry again.
Yeah, I think Roger, you need to see it. Let's move on from that. It will. I don't think we need to look at it here. Let's see what you could be after. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. What's holding back Francis Matthews, and I think that's pronounced Matthews. I don't know. That deal should be complete by now. I don't know. He's better than Tchouameni put together. Really, I don't know him that much to put put out an argument with regards to you could say to compare him with Tchouameni and say, okay, who's the better of the two? They are asking for too much money for France, and we're not willing to pay that much money. Interview on overlap, a potential reunion with Pochettino. That's the list of my concerns. That's not going to happen. Let's see the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We had 102 likes. Let's get it. But let's get the likes up. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes, so let's make that happen. On Turkey, Turkey is Thai. How do you pronounce it? Is it Turkey or Turkey?
Cherki.
Cherki.
It depends on which way. Some may say Cherki, some may say Cherki.
Okay, but Turkey sounds good. When preseason starts, I think we'll be traveling in about 3 days or so. The first game, what date? On the 17th? On what date? I don't remember. I think on the 17th or so. Guys, remember the sign-in from now on, Poch approved and demands we gotta back him. I think that's what it will be. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. This sounds like more like Chucky or Chalky, I'm not sure. But thank you for that. We must not give it a pass. He was sexually molested and put in drugs. He sold drugs too. I saw that. But what you would do, you can share the link so people can go check it out. We don't have to discuss it here. Like Ty is already saying, he doesn't want to get emotional, and it's not good for anybody to be sexually molested by his. I think who did he say did that? I forgot the person he mentioned. So people need to watch it. So we don't have good details with that. It's not a good thing, but you can share the link so people can go watch it. First game on the 19th of July, and then we face Brighton. And again, he also did talk about how somebody hanged them over the beach, and I thought if that person was questioning him also, and also how something else, how he sold drugs. Somebody used him to sell drugs because he was young, and as a young footballer, he hides it in the neck of his jersey or so, or backpack. I don't know the story. So if anybody wants that, it's out there. Please go check it out. Daniel Levy, I'm not going to say that. Please, is Enzo and Nkunku at Cobham yet? Not yet. I don't think so. But they are training wherever they are. Let's see what else we have lined up. This says Turkey have sounded out Chelsea have sounded out John Textor. I think that's the president or the director of Lyon, over his willingness to part ways to part with Turkey. But it's understood that other than Lukeba and Favre, he's unwilling to part with anyone else. Turkey is valued at £15 million, but I think they still sell it. Again, just pay up and then let the player go, and that's it. Let's see what else we have here. He credited Pochettino for saving him and talked about his exceptional abilities as a man manager. That was music to my ears. That's good also. But that some people have taken that, and again they turn it into that's a chance he joins Chelsea. But I don't think that happens, honestly. Let's see what else we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have 104 likes. We can do better than that. Let's try and get it to 200 as soon as possible. Let's see what else we have here. Just get it, and so we'll move on. This says the player wants to move. Turkey wants to come to Chelsea. That's a good thing. Tragic things, but he's a millionaire. They are lawyers to drag all those people to jail. The interview seems pathetically motivated. Okay, but I'm going to move on from that. Inter Milan have made a second offer for Romelu Lukaku for 30 million euros. Milan, for 30 million euros plus bonuses for Romelu Lukaku, they hope it's enough. I don't think it's enough. I think I read something to the effect of Chelsea getting annoyed with what Inter Milan are doing. I'm not sure why are they lowballing us. I mean, it doesn't look good for them. The fact that we have other clubs vying for Lukaku's signature. the Saudi is one of them, and there are one other club not mentioned in the report that I'm referencing here. I don't think we consider selling him to Inter Milan. But Roger, let me start with you. The situation, as much as we try to avoid talking about it, it keeps coming up.
Which one is this, Coach? Sorry, let me go back.
The Lukaku
the woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean,
they've come back with another offer, and it's just 30 million euros, which is not. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chelsea are requiring 40 million. I'm not sure whether it's euros or pounds, though.
I think we're asking for 40 million euros.
Is it euros, not pounds? Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously, so I'm pretty sure when my daughter was 4, she could have come to the conclusion you meet halfway in between, and that's 35. I think that's a safe assumption. He'll probably go for somewhere in between. I think both parties want to get this done. In fact, all 3 parties want to get this done. So it all depends on how willing Chelsea are. Basically, the directors are willing to negotiate. Are they going to stand firm and say no 40? That's it. Otherwise, ciao. Or do they say 35? Let's meet halfway.
So now you're adding Italian to the language we speak here.
You like that? No, but seriously, it's listen. The sooner the better. I know every penny counts. I get that. I understand that, fiscally speaking, and they have a fiscal responsibility to the team, to the organization, fiduciary responsibility. However, they must realize that money isn't always the number one criteria. That the sooner that this individual leaves this football team, the better, because they cannot afford to have him report back to camp here. It just cannot. It adds an air of negativity. He consumes all the oxygen in the room. So
and we did talk about how at this point, given how things are going, how Lukaku is trying to show the club, I want what I want, and you can't change that.
It's toxic.
I think we agree that egos have come into play, and that complicates the whole thing.
He shows a lot of animus, a lot of vitriol towards us for whatever reason. Have no idea. Maybe because of his early days, not given the chance under Jose, but he was cocky even back then, Listen, I never thought it would ever come to this. I'm shocked, maybe naively so. But all they need to realize is we need to move on. It's simple as that. But
does that mean we should take £20 million and ask them to take him?
It's not £20 million. It's going to be like 22, 23.
No, I'm just saying, my point is that does that mean we take whatever they give us and say, okay, just take him?
Of course not. That's why I said, I'm not saying sell him for 30. I'm saying meet halfway in between. If we're asking for 40, they want 30. 35-ish, give or take a shekel.
Yeah.
It's that
and I'm
simple.
seeing Constantine Dante in the chat saying we want £40 million, actually.
Yeah, pounds. That's what I thought. What I thought. And you know what? I think Chelsea are just going to have to bite the proverbial bullet. It's that simple. We paid, 97.5 million? Was it pounds or euros? I mean, there's just no continuity within the currency. I think it was 97.5 million pounds, if I'm not mistaken. But it could be euros. And that's a... So and I know we've recouped some money from the loan fees, but basically we're going to lose between 50 and 60 million pounds over 4 years.
Whatever happens.
Yeah, it's just and you can't blame these directors or these owners for that. It was pre-ownership. So, it's just a sad fact of life. It's like a marriage, just part ways if it doesn't work out. And this is a sad reflection for Maria Granovskaya. She's made some really big faux pas. I really believe that. Listen, he needs to go off our books, both for his salary and, more importantly of all, because of the influence he could have potentially over the very young players that we have at this club. If you look right now, Coach, if you look at our squad, I did a spreadsheet, so don't give me grief, okay? Do you realize there's 32 players technically on our first team? The median age is 24.13 years. That is fetus-like. That includes Aubameyang. You know, that includes Silva. You know, that includes Bettinelli. Who else is there that's quite senior? It's just, it's. Oh yeah, and of course Hakim 30. So once you remove those 3 out of those 4 30-plus year players, you're going to have a team that's going to be under the age of 24 for an average, median average age. That's incredibly youthful.
Yeah, thanks so much.
He can do a lot of damage. I mean, if you count how many teenagers we have in the starting 30, not starting 32, but within the 32, it's substantial. This now, if we had a really old aging team, then maybe it's less of a risk. But because of the amount of youth we have, we can't afford this.
Yeah, we cannot afford that. It will not be good for the sanity of the dressing room in so many ways. Probably a second hand smoker because clearly they cannot buy a cigarette themselves. I'm not sure what Glenn is referencing there. Inter just sold Brozovic for 55 million euros. They have money. Good luck getting it from them. Matt Law is working against us on this too. Notice his Lukaku PR and language on the beat. You can argue that I haven't paid attention to the language he's used on all his Lukaku reports. The rubber dog, Roger. Roger isn't the rubber dog. Please, what's the papers of the numerous sporting directors at the club? They are doing their job. They're working. I get it. We're frustrated because you haven't seen too many signings as expected. But be rest assured that they're working behind the scenes. Italian clubs are always milking us. We want 40 million pounds. I see we shouldn't be winning 35 million, or he goes to Saudi Arabia. No football for a year. And here's the thing. We have to sell him. I think where he wants to go wields a great deal of influence with regards to what happened his next club. Inter where Lukaku was bought under Roman, and Roman forgave Chelsea over 1 billion in debt before selling the club. Since the government was confiscating the money anyways. Okay, I'm not too sure what to make of that. We cannot afford to have him training away from the first team. They don't need that mix. I think if he comes back, he's probably not going to train with the first team. Lampard looks more idiotic in that interview. World is not stupid, really. Okay, I want him to remain, get fined for staying away and not playing for his. He has 3 years left on his contract and not playing for that duration. Here's the thing. Where are you going to find him? As long as he does what you ask him to do. If you ask him to go train with the under-10s, you're not going to find him.
So, Coach,
you only find him when he refuses to train.
Yeah,
go ahead, Roger, if you're saying something.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Matt Law this morning, and Matt Law was basically saying, if they don't come to some form of agreement, Lukaku's already in Italy, and he said there's no way I can ever see Lukaku flying back to participate, to train with the development squad. He said there's no way. So they're going to end up finding him.
Yeah, that's fine. If that's what he wants,
so it's actually a win-win for Chelsea. If we don't come to an agreement, fine him his whole salary each and every day. So guess what?
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like...
And he would change his mind because we're not losing in that instance. We're earning money. At one point, if you're finding him 20, go up to 150, go to 70, go up to his whole salary because he's refused to work. You cannot be paying him if it's not working. That would be good for us. I hope he does that. I'm just going to start praying he does that.
Matt Law seems to be convinced that there's no way on earth that he's going to fly back when Chelsea are on tour in USA for him to train with the development squad.
Good luck to him. If I'm Todd Boehly and Co, and I heard that's what he's planning to do, then I'll be reluctant to sell him to Inter. Let him go ahead and do that.
Exactly. You play the hardball. Yeah, I totally agree.
It's as simple as that. Just bring Lukaku back if he's not sold, and have him clean the staff shoes and clean the ground. I think he's a footballer, and that's on his contract. He didn't sign up he didn't join Chelsea as a cleaner, but I get that. That's funny too. This should be an example to anyone wanting to kick up a force in the future. I think we should deal with him in a way that serves as an example to anybody that would want to misbehave. Whatever Chelsea paid for Lukaku under Abramovich was written off before the club or sale. Abramovich forgave the best before selling the club. Since the government was taking the money due to sanctions, I think that's more understandable. But thank you for using a more, you could say, familiar language. Brighton FC are difficult to deal with and can understand fans' frustration. That is, your interest is gradually diverted to Tchouameni. I don't think we're going for Tchouameni. He's not going to be that cheap, probably more expensive. And I don't think Madrid will be willing to let him go too. I think they need numbers in that department. Lukaku was a romance of folly. Inter wanted 130 million. Romelu wanted him nothing to do with Marina. You don't get players in a lower salary. Just look at Sterling. I think that's the truth. Because Roman wanted him, and someone arguing actually it was his son that wanted him, and even and I don't see a situation where if you can at the time we wanted a striker. I don't see a situation where they'd go to Tuchel and ask him, "Do you think you can work with him?" And he says no. He probably said, "Okay, you know what? I think we can make it work." Lukaku isn't even making it easy at all. He hasn't, again, his comment hasn't helped our stance. Again, you can only find so much. Yeah, but since the egos of the club, of the owners, and Lukaku's ego, you can say, have come into play, it's become more complicated than we know, and actually won't be easy to solve. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have how many likes here? We have 110 likes. We can do better than that. Let's get the likes up as much as we can. Put a bead on the like. Yep, bye. Come on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We are at 110 likes. We can do better than that, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show this morning. Ultimately, our directors have earned our trust in negotiations. They will do what's best for the club on the deal. With that regard, let me bring in Roger. Roger, the way we've handled the sales of players, I think that's what Martin is saying there. We should trust them. They've proven that they know what they're doing. Because if you remember when Arsenal came in with the first bid for Kai Havertz, people were saying, just sell him, take the money and run. Real Madrid too. And the same thing as in the case of Mason Mount, they were saying, just take the money and run. Before he gets stuck, we get stuck with him or something to that effect. To me, I think they've done well enough that we should trust them. They know what they're doing. I'm not too concerned. I get it. One can help but fear that we may end up getting stuck with Lukaku because he wants Inter, and Inter have put in, you can say, the second bid, and we've refused to sell. That we should just take the money and run. But Roger, do you think we should trust our directors, just as a Mountain is mentioning there?
Yes, we have raised, excluding the inevitable sale of Christian Pulisic, we have raised 220.8 million euros in this window currently, and there's probably
228.
220.8.
220.8 million pounds. Okay, go ahead.
No, million euros.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's still a lot in pounds too.
Yeah, it's 199 million pounds. So, and then you've got Pulisic, which is probably going to go for approximately 19 million pounds. So you're looking at about 215 to 220 million pounds. So, and then there's another 5 to 7 other players that would either be sold or loaned out, or even dropped, perhaps. So right now we have reduced our first team squad by 13 players, either by loan returns or not renewed, like N'Golo Conte, or sales, or just basically a loan out, like David Fofana. So 13, 14, including Pulisic, and you're looking at between 20 and 22 leaving by the start of next season. Mm-hmm. And I think when you look at, listen, Mendy, we sold for £16 million. Kovacic is £25 million, correct? But you know what, though? There's 35 million in add-ons, potentially. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I only found that out.
So which means we could actually earn much more.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that there's 35 million pounds add-on with Mateo Kovacic sale. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You know, obviously they have to probably win the treble again next year, but realistically,
some of these players don't have much left on their respective contracts.
Right. So realistically, it's probably going to come to an extra 10, 15 million pounds. So you're looking at about a 40 million pound sale on him, which is very respectable. Mason Mount, I didn't think he would go for 50 or 65 million add-on, so 55 to 60. And I certainly didn't think Kai Havertz would go for 65. I didn't see that happening at all. I thought he would go for a fraction. I thought he would go for 30, 40. Yeah. So, like, even, I'll be honest with you, I thought Ruben Loftus-Cheek would go for more. And I thought definitely Koulibaly would go for more than 25, but he went for 18. But so for the most part, I think they've done very well. Most experts will tell you that they thought that we'd be performing a wholesale, we'd be selling for,
more like a yacht sale, buy one, get two.
Yeah,
buy one, get a second, so to speak.
Yeah, it'd be a ruthless sale job,
and
that hasn't been the case. Mm-hmm. I think they've and don't forget, they've done it in a very short period of time. This is the early stages of the transfer season, and to have done so quite well, I think it's better than I anticipated. Let's put it that way. So I'm impressed with them. We have to put our faith with them. I personally have been wanting structure for this club for many years, and we have it now. We have to trust and abide by it.
And here's the thing, some people will still come up with the argument the Saudis are saving grace. The truth remains, our best sales actually were sold to European clubs, domestic clubs, two of them, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount. Look how much we got for them. And Mason Mount has actually less than a year left on his contract. Kovacic just about 2 years, but not close. We've done well, really. So, yeah, you have to appreciate them. Ty, you have anything to add to that, or should we move on? Okay, it looks like Ty doesn't have the time. Let's see, Mitchell Boy, there you go. You have the link. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat before we move on. 111 likes. I appreciate you all. And let's see. I've read that one. Roman wanted him and sent his son to start the talks. So thank you so much for that. So, let's see. Lukaku should be sold to Spurs for a discount at 30 million pounds or what? I'm not too sure. And here's the thing, just quickly for this bro here, Philip Mwewa. Here's the issue with what you're putting there. I think because that's italic. Your comment italicized. So the machine that's policing the chat. Nightboard is seeing it as if you're swimming or you're using symbols and all that. So I'm sure that's the case. If you can see a way to stop using italics or italics or whatever, however you like to pronounce it, I think you won't have issues with that. But I'm able to undelete the messages that the machine has deleted, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 111 likes. Let's get the likes up. Remember, we're shooting for 200 likes. We can get there as soon as possible. Inter are a disgrace. I'm not taking it personal, but I'm just not happy at what they're trying to do. Really, they've shown no respect. And every time we talk about the Inter issue or Inter case, what comes to mind is that the Inter Milan's president comment he made where he said something to the effect of, "We know quite well that we're not going to get anything sizable from the sale of Lukaku." He said that publicly. That's respectful in my opinion, and I don't like that. Big up to you, Mitchell Boy. Finally, you have the time to join the panel today. I appreciate you. And unfortunately, I don't have the credit to your channel to add. Maybe you send that to me later to add to the description section. Let's see. Big up, Mitchie got a frog saying big up to you. When we get in when we get in the rest of our ultra mineral generals and talk I'm not sure. If any of them want to come here, they're welcome. Just we have rules they have to follow. Our scouts have been very poor for the past. Plus, remember that we have opportunity to sign Camavinga and Tchouameni, even when they even like to play for Chelsea. But our scouts are failed in that regard. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel. My personal opinion on DA, his childhood, Dele Alli, was a mess. I blame all the people around him, especially, and that's Adane Ikigwe Eugene, especially his parents, because there was no guidance. But as grown-ups, he should take responsibility for his actions. And again, he said something to the effect of his mom being an alcoholic and all that. That didn't help either. And they were divorced. Big up to you too, Kishan, my New York bro. Appreciate you joining. Let's see. Roger is speaking facts. Always speaks facts. Realistic Roger, as some people will say. Tchouameni was made an offer, but wanted Madrid. So we have to actually pay attention to that too. He also turned down Liverpool and PSG. He was never going to be sold then. He arrived January and COVID struck. The French season ended early. So the time where we wanted him, he didn't want to come to us. And plus, there are other factors. But thank you for saying that, Stav. I appreciate you. Are Liverpool about to make a bid for Levi Colwill? Nope, they're not interested. We've talked about that. Greg the Blue, would you start him in? Does he want to stay? I don't know. It's up to the manager. But if I were the manager, I'd try to keep him because he's a good player. Do you think Inter and Lukaku might have planned this before he signed with our club? I don't think so. He signed with all his heart, but it didn't work out, and then he goes back and probably didn't like what Chelsea fans were saying about him. So it's turned sour. Seriously, I don't see him coming back to Chelsea. It's up to you two, Ramson Bozo. Big ups, Enzo and Caicedo already cooked. We are just trying to get some media money for Brighton, and that's all. Okay, I'm not really too sure what to make of that one. Let's believe in Broya. I am very sure he will deliver. He's a good striker. I hope so too. But let's keep it to let's keep it aligned with the Lukaku conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to skip whatever you have to say there. Chelsea has done good business so far. People thought they would do bend down sales initially. Yeah, I know what that means. Bend down sales, but we have done great so far. Even if Lukaku goes up for bend down sales, I will not be upset. I will not be upset. But at this point, you could say the clubs. You could say, should I say, it's about pride at this point. But let's see what happens. Is the Bala coming to Chelsea? I'll say, us in the chat say, Muamara might say no. I don't see that happening. At least that's just my opinion. Not always, but for the most part, Roger is always correct. So, okay. If Levi refuses a new contract with better terms, or should we be worried? I think if he refuses to put pen to paper, there's a chance we end up selling him this window. Because if we're sure we're not going to be able to meet his requirements, which I'm sensing will be how much game time he gets. If it's something that the manager cannot guarantee and he refuses to put pen to paper for a new contract, we end up selling him this window. We're not going to risk selling him for a lesser fee in the coming next transfer window. If he refuses to stay at Brighton, I think he's the one who needs to worry. Maybe Lukaku and Inter made a plan to sell him to us for 100 million, then go back to Inter for cheap. I don't think so. It's just a theory that I cannot wrap my head around and say it makes sense. We don't need to spend big on Tchouameni. He snubbed us back then, though we did not really push. Get Caicedo and let's move. We still have good midfielders. The youngsters, I think, probably will get a chance. Big up to you to Chelsea all the way. I hope you're doing well. So let me bring you in, Mitchell boy. Your thoughts on the Lukaku situation. Big up and welcome. It's your debut on Chelsea Perspective. Let's see how you do.
Yeah.
Are you nervous? Your debut, usually.
I'm always nervous. I was really nervous on Lewis's channel on Tuesday because I'm comfortable in my own channel, and I was comfortable in other channels because I did it for.
But you should be comfortable here. You're one of us.
Yeah. I, as I've said to you in the past, I try to model my show on the way you run your show, the standards you have and stuff like that. So
I appreciate that. That means a lot to us.
You, and that is a heartfelt thing. I'm not just blowing smoke up your, But Roger's awesome. Bobby's awesome. Stuff like that. You've got some really good.
I don't think you should like Roger. I don't like.
Yeah, I love Roger.
Hashtag Roger out. Yeah.
But. The main thing about Lukaku is I had my concerns about him before he came. I was worried fitness and things like that, but he slimmed up at Inter Milan. So then I was quite excited, but he soon sort of put the weight on again. So he struggled a bit, but then again, did he get managed properly and stuff like that? So there's two sides to the story. But then the stink face thing happened, and that's where I've got the problem because he's made a mockery of the club. He should have left, but the problem is we've given him a massive contract. We have let him go that first season, so now he thinks he can do this every season. So we've created this as well. We got rid of the problem last season. Now we've got the same problem again. So we've just kicked the can down the road. I think the owners maybe thought it would cause too much drama and they kicked the can down the road. But now we do have to offload them. And like you say, we're wanting 40 million euros. If we get 30, just move them on. But we don't know what's in the background. I've said this on my channel. Maybe we still owe 40 million euro on them. And we're just wanting it sort of balanced out. But even if we take a hit on this guy, I think we have to offload. Honestly, I would have to come back in the squad, even though he's got the stink face and stuff like that. He is a good striker and he will get us goals and stuff like that. So.
Do you think we should take how much they're offering us right now? They're offering, I think, was it 20 million euros? Let me look at it again. Just quickly.
I just think we at some point we just sort of
30 million euros. Go ahead.
Accept it and sort of move on. Like you say, are we going to scrimp over that sort of 5 million here or there? I know it's a lot of money, but I think we have to offload him and we have to move on. And I don't think we can get a striker till we offload this boy. So everybody's saying why we're not doing this, why we're not doing that. There's reasons why we don't do these things. It's because we have to offload so we can bring people in. Because we can't afford to be stuck with these wages on the book. He's on a massive wage. And unless we offload him, we're stuck with the wages. So it's a practicality kind of thing. Now, a lot of fans, including myself, we're a bit frustrated. We want players in now so they can get bedded in, so we can have a good team in the future. We want that team in the pre-season friendlies and stuff like that. But a lot of the players aren't even coming back until like this week or next week and stuff like that because they've been on international duty. So it's all. We're scared it's going to be poor in pre-season again, and we're scared we're not going to be ready. Like Thomas Tuchel said last year, he knew we weren't ready, and we weren't fit enough. But saying that, I've got big hopes. We offload this guy. We bring in a few key players. Caicedo's the first of that. Hopefully we get a Gladovic or somebody like that. And maybe another one or two experienced players. Because Poch said in a recent interview he wanted a couple of experienced players in. So Poch is aware of it. So we just have to trust the owners. We have to trust that. I think they're offloading 5 to bring one in. That type of thing. That's the sort of way I get. And anyway, I've blathered on enough. What do you guys think?
I think I think you've spoken well, and I think that's the case. We should just trust them. And I wanted to ask you this, since I'm still with you. Somebody in the chat did say that. I think it was Martin O saying we should trust the directors. I think they've done well. If you're seeing things from the perspective of the players we've sold, how much we've gotten from selling those players, I think you just have to trust them. Even for the incomings. They know what they're doing. We're not too. We've sensed it again. It's clear that we're not too in a hurry to sign players. We're taking our time, making sure we're getting the right profile of players for the manager. I think you already said that, no need. But if you want to elaborate on that, why you think we should really trust them, you go ahead. You still there, Michi?
Yeah. What was the question, Coach?
Do you think we should trust them? Just specifically, I know you've talked about that. You've alluded to that a bit.
Who we should trust? Are you talking about the owners?
the directors, the owners, like the scouts, how well you can say everybody involved at the club at this point, how well they've done in terms of the outgoings. Do you think we should trust them with regards to the players we're going to sign?
I think we have no choice but to trust them. That's the first thing. It's their show, and we've got to go with it. What I'm trying to do is interpret what they're on about, what they're trying to do, what the model is, and that's really what I want to speak to other people about. Is what is the model? It looks like they're maybe getting rid of players over 100, 200,000 on wages, so they're getting rid of the high wage earners. They're trying to bring people in cheaper money. They're getting rid of a lot of the experience, but that might just by coincidence that they're no signing contracts. They're on too big wages and stuff like that. You have to wait out and see if they're going to bring in these quality players that we need. Because at the moment, if you look at the squad, it's just not good enough. And I don't know what you guys think. There's not enough experience in there. The winter guys, they're not bedded in yet, and then we're going to bring in more players. It's a bit worrying, but I don't think you can.
Can you guys still hear me? It looks like we can.
No.
Okay. It looks like we've lost. He has a connection issue, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think they've got this model, and because it was so bad last season, they were going to go slow with it. And I think after it went so badly, they decided just to go with it. And I think they're going gung ho with this new model. They're having a total. They're having a total clear out, and they're really going for it. But the thing a lot of people are saying to me, the feedback I'm getting is that we're going to be poor for seasons to come. This model is going to take a few years before we get a team on the park.
But once it clicks.
Yeah.
It's a sustainable approach, in my opinion. But go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's they're looking at sustainability. They're looking at building for the future. The problem is the fans want it all now. We want to keep just buying marquee players all the time. We want to keep spending the way we used to spend. But they're not doing this, so people have to suck it up, and we have to go with this. There's nothing we can do about it. I don't know why people think that if they just moan a bit and all that's going to make a difference. We've really just got to be supporters and hope that they do the right thing, because it's their show. It's their show. There's nothing we can do. We can moan and try and moan about things on Twitter and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they've got their model. They think that's the right thing. They've now got a quality coach in, and he's bought into it, or he wouldn't be there. So I'm just hoping this guy gets him fit and he gets some sort of structure. And look what Arteta's did with Arsenal. They were struggling. Now he got them into second. So maybe Pochettino can get us into second next year. There is a chance. There's possibilities.
Without European distraction or assignment, if that language you prefer, I think there's a chance we do better than a lot of people expect us to do. Michi, I have to say I'm impressed with your debut here. Maybe we should actually give you the captain's armband. Keyshawn, my bro, I appreciate you, my New York bro. He said, did you hear Lampard talk about his second stint to Chelsea? Honestly, I haven't watched that, but I'll take my time to watch it. I'll find time to find it and watch it. We are one Alex Jones away from an Lukaku conspiracy.
Alex Jones.
Oh my goodness. And Martin, just quickly, if you're watching, please reach out to me via Twitter. There's something I want to discuss with you. I appreciate all your contribution. And you said you want to be our host too. We're looking for co-hosts. That will make the work a whole lot easier on me. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Let's get 200 likes and sub if you're new here. We're getting closer to we get to I believe in a few days we'll get to 14,000 subscribers. We can do that. Let's make it happen. But more importantly, the likes are actually more important than the subscribers. So I appreciate you all. Chelsea all the way. Let's see what else we have here. Just saying hello to everybody there. Chelsea are close to sell Lukaku for around £25 million, according to TalkSport. But the other, I think I've seen a lot of conflicting reports there. Other reports are saying we're not happy, even with the current bid, we're not happy. Because there are other interested parties also who have offered more than what Inter has offered to us. Coach, I've seen your picture of Stamford the Lion. I wonder what size that suit is. Lukaku could have, for sure, after all, not a sheep in wolf's clothing, but an elephant in lion's clothing. Maybe that aligns with the name we used to reference Lukaku's case here. Big up to you too, the beautiful game. Always nice to see you, brother. He says, big up, Coach Roger Michi. I unhide you twice last night, bro, but I could do nothing about the timeout. Then Mozart Savage. It looks like you did Michi's dirty somewhere, not here. So you just apologizing to him.
He's saying he unhided me. There's mods on Johnny's channel that were deleting my messages or putting me in timeouts all the time, and I was only saying hi to people. And what Beautiful Game's saying is he was unhiding me. He was taking me off that and stuff, but they kept on doing it. It's okay. I've raised it with Johnny, and I'm going to speak about it on my show.
All right, I'm going to catch up and try to bring in.
It's just gossip and nonsense, Coach. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to catch up and bring in Bobby as soon as I can. And just quickly, I want to say this, but maybe you tell us later. I don't know how the Bluetooth game is still a mod on Johnny's channel because he doesn't like Mason Mount. Maybe I should call him out so that Johnny can block him. But that's by the way. Chelsea getting closer to sign Moises Caicedo. Anything new other than that talks are progressing slowly? Please do please do let me know if there's any new report today. Coachella standards are truly exceptional, and Coachella standards you're gonna make me start blushing on the screen. I wholeheartedly concur. The passion, aura, and acceleration he brings to the show are unparalleled. Please, again, be careful. The sort of words you use there, I can't pronounce every word correctly. I have to let you know. The Nature Boys debuted on Chelsea Perspective. Nature Boys debuted on Chelsea Perspective was fantastic. I admire the way he carefully crafted his thoughts and delivered them with rationality and consistency. Wow. I've never seen anybody as formal as Jerry Z. What about Michy Batshuayi? He's been gone last season, didn't he? He's no longer on the books. Inter want Lukaku. If they sell Onana, Juve too want Lukaku. If they sell Vlahovic and Lukaku hasn't ruled out saying yes to Juve, according to the Sport, and also he hasn't actually said no to the Saudis. He's still considering them all. So we shouldn't actually be in a rush to accept that amount. Good day to you too, John Potter. I hope you're doing well. I don't trust them putting chemicals in the water. The tons, the freaking. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referencing there, and that's not my interest. I love our new kid. Okay, good luck. Go buy, get yourself one if you can afford it. It looks good. I have a bit of an issue with it, but I know it will grow on me. Porter's lawyer. I think he no longer works for Porter. He now has another assignment. He's the Goalkeepers Union chairman and other assignments too. Maybe every manager's lawyer. PSG are interested in signing Kepa, according to reports. What the news are, I will drive him to France and give him some money. I'd be shocked if he didn't talk about that because I know how you feel about him. Romance the like button, people. Again, whatever you do, make friends with it. Let's get it up to 200 likes and try to go for 300 as soon as possible. We can make that happen. 125 likes. Let's see how far we can go before we end. We made a very big mistake for signing Lukaku. Reason why Lukaku forced his move from Everton to Manchester United, and he forced his move from Manchester United to Inter Milan. Lukaku is a rebel. So there's a pattern to that. Him forcing his move to wherever he wants to go. So he feels like it's all about what he wants and not really what the club wants. I've sent you a message on Twitter, Coach. Okay, I'll look at that. If you're ready to come on now, I'll share the link with you. That's by the way, I think Bobby probably has to go take care of something. He's left the panel. I don't know, Roger, you have anything else to add to the mammoth discussion, or should we move on? The mammoth in the room discussion.
Mitchie brought up a very interesting point about let's be realistic, and we can't expect instantaneous success. But if that's the case, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, if that is indeed the case, then how does this bode for a manager that came from a big foe, coming from Tottenham? How much patience do the fans give him? I mean, this doesn't bode well for him.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's problematic. I don't think. But let's see. Well, let's see what happens. But Roger, I haven't asked you this. What do you think ends up happening? In
what regard?
His future.
Oh, you're talking about the woolly mammoth?
Yeah.
I think he leaves. I mean, listen. Many things can scuttle a deal. Many things. It doesn't take a lot to scuttle a deal nowadays. But I believe that all three parties will come to their senses and do what's best for all parties involved. I think everyone wants this move, so I think they'll come to they'll meet halfway in between them and get the deal sorted. I honestly believe that. Do you see a situation where Chelsea will give in to Inter's demand? No, I think they'll stay steadfast to a certain extent and say, worst case to worst, you'll meet me halfway. And if Chelsea don't do that, then you know what? That may not be the most prudent approach, in my opinion, based on what I've already stated previously. Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated situation, and we all can agree egos have come into play. That complicates it even more. Lukaku choosing Manchester United over us way back then was the only reason that I never wanted him. I think that would have been enough for us to say why we don't want this guy. Then think the guy would turn out to be this unprofessional, though. That's the part that you can say I didn't see coming. I knew before time that Thomas Tuchel doesn't play with traditional number 9, and he's one. I knew there's a chance he'd struggle under Thomas Tuchel, but at the same time, one of them maybe Thomas Tuchel will find a way to accommodate him, and he does well. But but that's, by the way, that's for the board to settle, Roger. They must give him at least 2 seasons, in my opinion, regardless of the backlash. Some comment right there. Lukaku will be sold, but on our terms. Egos have come into play, and there's a chance that becomes the case. I'm hearing news about Cherki and Dybala possibly coming to Chelsea. That's some great news. Dybala, I don't think comes. Maybe Cherki, but let's see what happens. Chelsea recruits FAs. Okay, FAs ahead of performance. Bryce, I'm not sure who. Bryce to Pochettino's backroom staff. Okay, new member of the coaching staff, according to Mail Online Sports. More hate towards Chelsea. I don't know who that is. Bryce Kavanaugh. Don't know him.
I don't know who that is, really. But let's see what Jarizi says here. Coach, the community you have fostered and continue to expand aligns perfectly with Poch's vision. I must mention Poch again. Again, it brings me great joy, and our new panelists shares the same belief. No wonder why you had to jump back again, because you like Michi. There is no meeting me halfway with Lukaku. Inter have the money with Brozovic. And plus probably they're delaying the sale of Onana, so we don't say, oh, look, they have money. Let's get as much as we can from them. They're making a mockery of us in this negotiation. You could argue that. Big up to you too, Chelsea Till I Die. I appreciate you. Let me see. I just wanted to share the link with someone who asked for it, and he's waiting because we're looking for more panelists. And he actually wants to be a co-host. That will go a long way too. Just give me 1 second, Roger. Apologies, guys. But while you wait for me, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't.
Can I have that apology in writing, Coach, please?
Sure. You're not into gentleman's agreement, right? It hasn't helped Caicedo in so many ways. And the funny thing is that the agreement was actually with the coach, not the club itself. Sorry, I'll do that right away, brother. But more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Let me see. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's my bro Tabejo, my brother from the Madiba line. Where's the hate on Chelsea from mistreating Alba? You cannot always have your cake and eat it. These things go both ways. Did we mistreat Alba? No. In what you have to elaborate and explain how you think Chelsea mistreated Alba. To me, I think it didn't work out. Do I think there are occasions where I think the manager should have started him, or maybe he should have been one of the players we registered for Champions League, and we didn't do that. And that's probably because maybe, I don't know. But I wouldn't go to the extent of saying we mistreated him. If he had issues, it must have been with the managers. And at one point, you can see we don't trend with them. We're not in the dressing room. Something must have happened that the club actually wanted to force him to join an MLS side, even promising to pay his salary. So I wouldn't go to the extent of saying we mistreated him. Coach, why are you moving like Lukaku, sowing discord in the dressing room? I got a great idea for changing direction for this channel. It's called the Mitchy Boy Chelsea Perspective. Your thoughts? Mitchy Boy will always be welcome here. I love him, but I asked a legit question. I don't know how you're still a mod on Mineros FC. Why you hate Mount that much? And I'm gonna get you blocked. I'll say that again. I think some Kepa fans will be worried about the Kepa to PSG news, Kepa for Donnarumma swap. I've always said I don't trust Donnarumma with his ability on the ball. If it's not good on the ball, I don't think Luis Enrique will be looking beyond him, if that makes sense. But that's, by the way, I don't know. Roger, you have anything? There's something I wanted you to get your thoughts on. I think it's this one. Did Chelsea mistreat Oba? So that let's just you can find closure with that particular topic and move on from it.
I personally don't, because just watching him play last year for us, he doesn't have the legs, coach. He can't track, he can't close down. He can't track back. His legs were gone. And yeah, I understand he missed some opportunities, but and that could be because of lack of playing time, which would be our decision. But honestly, he was signed based on his history, on years gone by. Listen, Father Time catches up to everyone, and I don't think he was mistreated at all, based on of him not being selected, in my opinion.
And all the factors, such as we were on the verge of completing his transfer to us when Amdrovas raided his home and nearly killed him, actually. And I don't know what Thomas Tuchel was thinking. As at the time he joined us, you would think he'd still be recovering from that incident, that robbery incident at his place in Spain. And Thomas Tuchel started him. I wouldn't have done that. He wasn't ready to start in that particular game. And usually, when you don't start well in your new club, usually it's difficult to overcome. I don't know how else to phrase it, but that's just my opinion. Michi, would you argue that we mistreated Aubameyang?
Yeah, I agree with you. He wasn't the right sort of frame of mind when he came to the club, and the club was sort of like just about to get rid of Tuchel, so it was a terrible time for him to come in. But I watched the comps of the way he played at Barcelona before we got him, and he looked sensational.
He was good. He averaged nearly a goal per game.
Sorry. He looked like a world-class player. Now, what happened was he came on and his performances were a bit low par. And I do agree we could have played him more, but we don't see behind the scenes the attitude and stuff like that. I think what it is, when players get to that sort of age, that level, they just expect to play, and it's hard for them if they're not getting played. And I think it's a lot to do how you treat senior players like that as well. So was he managed properly? Probably not. But he has got a tendency to get a stink face. So I think as well, we should have sort of had kid gloves with this guy and really managed him a lot better. And we might have got more out of him, because what we've got out of him is absolutely nothing. He had a poor time at Chelsea, and he'll probably get offloaded. But I've never.
And that's not down to lack of him not being a good footballer. There are lots of you can say factors that contributed to him not doing as well as expected at Chelsea. But that's just my opinion. You go ahead. Michi, I'm sure you've seen Roger complain at how I cut people off when they speak.
No, it's cool.
So apologies, but go ahead.
I like people not to talk over each other. It's one of my little problems I've got because nobody can understand. So I try to be quite respectful. We could have gave him a run and it might have worked out, but it hasn't worked out.
Perhaps.
So I think it's now time to offload him. The problem is we gave him big silly money and we're struggling to offload him. He should really be away to Saudi Arabia now, in my opinion. But if he doesn't want to go there, he can just sit in that contract. That's the problem. I definitely think the owners want to offload his wages.
Yes.
I don't want. I think he's in that sort of bracket of ones that actively try to move out. And even if he wanted to stay, or if he was a great player and all that, I think they would still be moving him out. You've just got to look at the recent history. The players have moved out. They're either people who don't want to be here, or people who wouldn't sign new contracts, or wouldn't sign new contracts on the sort of deals that they want to offer, incentives, that kind of thing. So if you don't fit into their new model, you're gone. And he's one of these people that's not going to fit into the model. And I think he'll go in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It might be a last minute thing. I don't see what the hurry is for him to just accept a deal now because it suits us. I think he's quite entitled to sit to the end of the transfer window and take whatever deal suits him. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I feel the same too. He will leave most definitely. When? I don't know. Maybe towards the end of the transfer window because he's very picky. More importantly, he's very picky. And I like him. I think we signed him, and he could have done better for us had it not been the circumstances we've discussed, the robbery thing, and every other thing that happened during, the moment he joined us. Those circumstances didn't help. Good luck to him if he gets the move he desires, because he's very picky, like we've explained. But that's by the way, we'll move on from that. Good luck to him. Martin, before I come to you, I just want to catch up with what we have in the chat so it doesn't become overwhelming. Where Lukaku's ego is bigger than his brain is that how will he cope if his next team has to play away at Stamford Bridge? How will he feel? You say, I think he'd be able to deal with it. Honestly, that's how I see it, but that's just my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We are at 128 likes. Let's get the likes up. How much does PSG want to pay for Kepa? We haven't heard anything with regards to the fee. How much they're willing to pay? I take 15 to 20 million for Kepa, plus 40 million for Donnarumma. Donnarumma, I'm not too sure how good he is with his feet. I've always said that before. I just read from somewhere that Trevor Chalobah is not involved in our coach's plan. I'm not sure what to believe that. I haven't read anything similar to that. But the only thing I've seen is that if we get a good offer, that would let him go. But the player himself is not pushing to leave, and we're not pushing to sell. I don't think he goes anywhere, actually. The system at Chelsea does not suit who, but you could argue, that's one important point too. When they signed him, we don't have good creators. We don't create too many chances, actually, for our number 9s. At Barca, they put it on a plate for the player. Chelsea, he has to work very hard. He's gone the age where he's actually, you could say, where he would have been able to adapt to that, to the manager's preferred approach. If you don't want a player, why buy him and then banish him? What was Havertz offering to play every game goals-wise? Now he's gone to Arsenal. I'm not sure how to answer that one, unfortunately. Coach, the key is that my views are always conservative and never extreme, except, of course, when dealing with Roger, because you always have to be on your toes and be ready to attack first. Otherwise, Roger will mop the floor with you. Coach, I kindly request to be assigned a panelist whom I can collaborate with and assist in their growth, ultimately transforming them into an elite panelist. Wow, that's such a confidence player right there. He hasn't even made his debut. Please, we need Caicedo. I think we'll get that deal over the line. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. Eddie Love for Blue, appreciate you, bro, and thank you for all the updates you've been sending me. Frank Lebon has a branded new Chelsea target, Ryan Cherki, as one of the most skillful players on earth, but reviewed his concerns over the pursuit. And if you can tell us his concerns over the pursuit, it'd be interesting to see what that is. Henderson and Fabinho are probably moving to Saudi Arabia. An investigation should be brought forward for cheating. Yeah, same energy. I knew you were going to come up with that. Since the theory emerged that the Saudis are helping Chelsea cheat. Who knows whether they own Chelsea? But the Clear Lake is just a front. Big up to you. I'll let you speak in a bit if you don't mind. But the former France international has questioned whether Chelsea need another player for the future when they'll be desperate to hit the ground running. I think we could still get Cherki, get two experienced midfielders, get a good striker. I think would be okay. Cherki, the good thing is that he brings something different to the table, something we don't have. When they will be desperate to hit the ground running under Pochettino, that argument makes sense. But I think we need a Cherki. Chelsea, Coachella, sorry, my question to Warren. So less questions maybe. No, it's not. It's just that maybe probably because of the language you use, I'm not able to you can say to grasp what you're trying to say there. Big up to you to the vibe. Yeah, always nice to see you, my bro. My brother, Coach, how are you feeling? I can't complain. I feel a lot better, but not 100%. But you can say I'm close. I'm able to scream your name like I used to. Escapade to PSG real? I'm not sure whether to believe that. Nothing. I haven't seen it from sources that you can say I trust. But let's see. As the transfer window progresses, I think we'll find out probably in a few days. Coach, are we not concerned about the age of our squad? I am, but the rest assured, I think we'll mix it up. We're not done in the transfer window yet. We'll have probably the youngest team next season. Between 3 out of the relegated sides last season were among the top 5 youngest in the league. So that's something to be concerned about. But I think we'll mix it up a bit. And plus, we'll still have some experienced players there. We still have Raheem Sterling, Reece James, his experience, Ben Chilwell is experience. Who else? I think we have a few more experienced players there. Why is Coach running from London? Perhaps a scandal with who? Model? I'm not sure. And Mitchie Boy has shared the link to his channel. Please go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. An excellent content creator, understands Chelsea very well. You can see how impressed Jerry Z is with regards to how he talked about Mitchie Boy's contributions on the panel here. So please, from Code Web, all of you in the chat, Surinat and the Vibe, please go check out Mitchie Boy's YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe. Let's grow together. He streams tonight at 19:00, which is that's 5 p.m. UK. Is that what it is?
7.
No, it's 7 o'clock, 24.
Okay, 7 p.m. UK. Okay, minus 12. That's 7 p.m. UK. You can share the link to the stream also so that people can go drop a like and help trigger YouTube algorithm. I mean, why is Lukaku running away from London? I don't know. Maybe London is bad luck for him. I honestly do not know. Experience doesn't always mean age. Yeah, we know that. They're two different things. There are young players who've gathered enough experience, played enough games, and good and experienced enough. So I'm going to go straight to Martin. Martin, thank you for your patience. Where do you want to come? You want to talk about the Lukaku case?
I would like to start with Aubameyang's. I think people forget that we're working on getting rid of Marcos Alonso at the time. And I feel like he was involved in that deal, and it was a bit of a Tuchel signing, and he was still available, for the coaches after that.
Can you rewind back a bit? I think you're very correct. We were working on getting him, and they wanted Alonso.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yes. So he was involved in that deal where Alonso was supposed to go for like 15 to 20 million. But then they ended up sending him for free, cutting off the wages, and then putting that on Aubameyang for like 2 years. And of course, Tuchel approved the signing at the time. And it kind of made sense in a way, but Now maybe it's not so much. So as long as, it might seem a bit harsh now, but he hasn't been the worst of signings and he's always been available. We've been playing Havertz 45 games, 47 games. We could have played Alba for half of that and seen, he got both goals against AC Milan, which, changed our destinies in the Champions League. And so it's not been the worst, signing, and he's not kicked off of us behind the scenes. We know he has a history, but we haven't heard anything from Chelsea, from Cobham yet. So on that, we wish him all the best. There seems to be a report that he's considering going to Saudi now. I think Matlock just came out with that, and hopefully he accepts that and he leaves. So on Lukaku, this is where it gets a bit interesting now, because I feel like I have this personal connection to this deal. I do not wish any player any ill. I do not wish any player any bad. But this brother, I feel like we should make an example out of him. I really do. We're going to make some 30 to 35 million maybe, but I don't think it's worth it at this point because of the amount of just everything we had to deal with Lukaku, and the fact that it's still happening and it's so public as well, moving the return date back and everything like that. Like, I feel like we should just be fining him for his wages, his weekly wages, until the move is done still. And on the other deals, I'm really confident with the board. I like what they're doing. I like the way they're taking their time with negotiations. People forget that we could have wrapped up Ugarte at this time and Caicedo if we choose to agree to Brighton's payment terms, and then everyone won't be so worried now about our situation. But they seem to take their time. We've cleared a whole lot of players out, so there's an opportunity to build a different team at this point. But I think people need to realize that we need to build the Pochettino system first. Exciting names will always be exciting names, but we don't know what the system will need, the kind of profile the system requires, and what we already have, how they fit in, and then what's extra to add on top of that. So I feel like people need to give Pochettino the first 3 games of the preseason. Let's see the formation he rolls out. Let's see his tactical adjustments, this and that. And then we look for certain players that match that profile. Because from everything we've seen, we are moving in a certain way. We've gone from Gabriel Vega, which is like an AM Mount-esque kind of player. And then we moved to Pablo, to Dybala, and now to Cherki. So you're seeing the pattern.
Sorry, do you speak French?
No, no, English.
But is that the correct pronunciation? I know you were the one to. Well, I think you were the one that.
Cherki.
There's a French name that you actually were the one that typed in the chat how to pronounce it correctly. But go ahead with what you were saying.
That was L'Equipe.
Oh, L'Equipe. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, and by the way, the reporting on Kepa and all of that, I think it's just false. I've read the article. I work in as a research analyst, so I know when journalists just write up things for clicks, because De Gea, Hugo Lloris, and Kepa would not be on Enrique's list. He would just go and get Simon if they need a keeper. But anyway, that's by the way. So I feel like people just need to give Poch the time to build his system first, and then we know what the system needs to succeed.
Yeah.
And
thank you so much. Go ahead if you're still talking. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, and on the case of the strikers, I feel like people on the rate, and on the value, the potential we have in Nicholas Jackson and Broya at this point. And also the fact that we can get the entire system to chip in more goals than individuals. We have an Nkunku that can give 15 goals. We have a Sterling that can give 10. Then other players, Modric and Madueke, can chip in with 8 each. And, building that with 2 competent strikers that are young and hungry can take us to January, and then we reassess our options. Right now, I see good strikers, but I don't see any reliable striker. I just see good strikers. The Vlahovic, they can be good, but not 60 million good. So I would just want people to have some patience on the whole thing, to just give Poch this preseason to build his system. And then we look at it, and then we know what we need to add to that. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sure the chief scout, Roger, is everything. He's the goalkeepers union chairman. He's the coach's lawyer. He's also the chief scout. I'm sure he's impressed with you. So I'm impressed. I think you're very articulate just as much as you are whenever you're in the chat, and I appreciate that. You're welcome. Welcome from, again, you're now a panelist here. I appreciate you joining, and hopefully we get a chance to train you to host the shows on your own, because that was the question I asked and you said you're interested. I hope you'd have time to do that. I appreciate you joining. AD Lovely saying Italian journalist Gianluca De Maggio says reported Chelsea and Manchester United target Dusan Vlahovic has been put on the market by Juventus. And we're hearing he's also on the list of one of the strikers that PSG are interested in signing. So that will make it even more difficult for us. Plus, we don't pay as much as Manchester United in terms of salary. Also, PSG. But I wouldn't be surprised if we end up not going for any, you could say, established striker like Osimhen or Dusan Vlahovic. We need Cherki, but Lewis Hall has something special about him, but they're two different profile of players. I pray Poch sees that and be bad need. Okay, it's a bit jumbled up there. Big up to you all. Keep dropping the line on the stream. Coach, what do you think of Mount United debut? I really don't know what to talk about that. I did see I've seen a highlight of his performance. But I can't. I'm not sure it would be fair to judge him just based on the comps of his errors on the day. I have to watch it full time. I don't know if anybody else on the panel wants to speak about that. I have to be honest. I can't just go by the comps alone. That would not be fair. I have to watch the whole game. But I'm seeing some Manchester United fans are complaining and concerned. But that's the least of my concern. How he does at United, I really do not care, honestly. There's still time, and plus, it's just preseason.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Lukaku and the fashion model, I think Lukaku is scared of London boys. Will still make a V stallion, maybe. Hello to you, to Kim. So I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join the show, Coach. Have we discussed Mount's performance yesterday? More importantly, that poor fan that was taken to A&E because he sat in Rosie in a stable condition. I didn't watch the game. I'm sure you heard me say that, and I do not honestly want to judge him based on the comps on the highlights I saw on Twitter. Chelsea could be in luck with their pursuit of the transfer of Montpellier striker Wahi, as his club needs to sell in order to survive, according to Jonathan Johnson. Do we really need him? I've argued before, we have too many players of similar attribute. Maybe it's because I don't know him. I'm sure, Martin, we've talked about him and you know him. Do you think we should be looking to sign him, really?
No, not at all. We have the exact same player in Jackson, and he's better.
And why? And also, we've let Dacho Fofana leave on loan, so it doesn't make sense.
And based on the initial reporting from L'Equipe, this was more of a waffle to just get eyes, get the attention on the player, and get his market value higher. It has nothing to do with Chelsea.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Who was the comparison with? I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Jackson. He's similar to Jackson.
With who?
The guy on the screen here, Wahi.
Oh, I see.
I don't know him either. It just highlights that I saw, but from the highlights, he doesn't differ that much from Sterling and what's his name, and Dacho Fofana also. He doesn't differ that much from them. But go ahead with what you were saying, Martin.
So that's just it. I think it's just talk to get interest up on the player and use her name to get a better fee for him. Other clubs are interested, German clubs, I think. And
some of the one of the reports said something to the effect of we just want to sign him for the satellite club, not that he joins us.
No, not for the amount they're asking for.
Okay, Roger, you want to add anything? Do you know him?
No, I don't. No.
And so jog on, right?
Thus verily.
Niti, how about you? Do you know, is it called Ayawahi? Do you know him? Do you think we should be looking to sign him? But I think Martin is correct. Probably something his camp, they're using that to see, or the club using that to see if they get a sizable fee from himself. But up to you, Michi, if you know him. Otherwise, I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat, and we'll move on to the next item we'll have lined up.
Full disclosure, I don't even watch highlights of the Premier League. I watch a Chelsea match maybe 3 times. Every match I watch it like 3 times. Like the full match. That's what I do. Yeah. I like to have a proper opinion on the team I support, and I like to analyse different players.
Excellent. So Michi is one of our Chelsea specialists. So noted, Michi. And please, Michi, anytime you get a chance, share the link to your channel, and I'll make sure you have the text. Please go check out my channel. Then the link so people will understand. And if I get to it, I'll speak about it even further. Chelsea should just understand that Lukaku deal is a liability to them. And for that matter, the player should be allowed to go. It should be a lesson to all of us. At the same time, we shouldn't just, we shouldn't just give in to Inter's demands. I think pride is at stake here. You don't want any other club to come. You can start behaving the same way when they're dealing with Chelsea. Of course, Juve put Vlahovic on the market now, because if he has another season like he did, he will be worth 20 million next season. So probably you can say a smart move by them. Havertz plays today, so you have to watch him too. Let's see. Chelsea fans will be waiting to make a comp of how well he did. And by the way, that Mount video got deleted for copyright report. Imagine Ivan Toney and Nkunku. I'm not going to move on. Let's talk about this, Roger. Yes. I'm sure you've heard what's out there with regards to the possibility of us signing Ivan Toney.
Yes.
To me, it's a big no. To me, Roger.
I know, but you know what though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I understand your concern because he bet on his own team. Listen, it's a no-no. And yes, I agree.
Okay, when you say a no-no, can you be specific? Why you say it's a no-no? Is it because of the betting habit, or because of?
Okay, so I'll drop. Gambling is akin to drug use. It's a disease. So it doesn't send a good signal to the youth around the country, around the world, however you want to term it. However, there's I'm looking at it purely from a footballing aspect. That how shall I put this? That he is league proven. He's an amazing penalty taker. He's clinical. I think just based purely on his football ability, I believe he would be a huge upgrade for us. Yes, potentially hamper the evolution of a Broja, for instance, true. But this gentleman is 27. He's in his prime. He could be the difference between us either making it in Europe or winning the league or winning silverware, however you want to term it. I think he's as sure a thing as a slam dunk as there is for an attacker. Question is, how much does he cost? That's another thing. People say that he's going to cost a lot of money. So if that's the case, then we can't afford to pay over 100 million or anything like that. I don't think I don't think he would go for 100 million, but he'll go for 60 or 70 probably.
Who?
Toney.
60?
Yeah, I think they'll ask for 60.
Yeah, he's listen. He's a proven commodity, coach. I don't know why you don't like him. He's a bloody good player.
No, I like him as a player, but for me, I think here's the thing. Let me be clear. We'll all see things from different lenses. And in my case, a player who's a gambling addict, and I know the comparison you use, it makes sense. And went to the extent of betting against the team he plays for. It's not something I find it easy to sweep under the rug.
Over 200 times.
That is just me as an individual. Just give me 1 second. Go ahead. Let's bring it over how many?
Over 200 times, and he's rich. He's not
Yeah,
broke.
exactly.
So he's
So that's the
rich.
issue. So Mitchell, you go
It's a
ahead and run with
disease.
this one.
It's
Mitchell,
a
what do you think?
disease.
Would you want Chelsea? Do you want Chelsea to sign him? Go ahead, Mitchell. I'll be back in a few seconds.
I agree. I agree with different points of view here. It is something that's seen as a sickness, and the thing is, like alcoholics and drug users, they always say they're addicts. They always say that
Yes.
they've got the problem. So if this is the same sort of problem, that means this boy's always going to have the problem. He's just going to control himself and not do it, just like you
Yes.
would with drugs or drink. Now, they've already kicked off, whoever it was kicked off, the Chelsea Trust, whoever, about sponsorship. I don't think they're going to wear having this guy coming to the club with the sort of gambling background type thing. So I love the player. You know that, Roger. You've heard me talk about him in the past. He's the player I want in the team. I just think there's a bit of baggage there, and I honestly don't think it'll happen. And the other thing as well is we always say, oh, it's going to be 60 million. Whenever Chelsea turn up, it ends up being 100. Look at Caicedo. We ain't getting him for 60 million.
Yeah.
So he's going to cost a fortune, in my opinion, because we don't get people on the cheap. The only ones we're getting on the cheap now are no.
Yeah, just quickly, Mitchie.
Sorry.
Mitchie, just quickly. Since you're on camera, I'm gonna go take care of something quickly. So you're the host now. After that, Lukaku, you can talk about William. Fulham offered William to us, and then you can talk about Chelsea have stepped up their interest in Ryan Cherki. And then, just that. I think I'll be back before you finish William and Ryan Cherki, if you don't mind, please.
Can I say also, like in America, there's a famous baseball player. I actually met him, shook his hand, called Pete Rose, who's I think the greatest first base stealer or whatever, greatest hitter. And he's not in the Hall of Fame because he was convicted of gambling as the manager, I believe.
Clubs do take these things serious.
Yeah, they do. But I'm just saying, I'm not putting Toney as one of the greatest players ever. I'm just equating to this circumstance.
Yeah, and Mitchie, when you're done, I'm just going to leave. When Roger is done and Mitchie, you complete, please give Martin a chance to speak about the possibility of Chelsea signing Ivan Toney. And Mitchie, I'm handing over to you because you're on camera. And it makes a difference.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Can I just quickly say one thing, if I may, please, Mitchie? Is the fact that if we do sign him, he's going to get counselling. He's going to probably get a dedicated professional to help him. He'd probably have to attend classes, etc. And probably his contract, there'll be small print in there that if he's caught gambling again, his contract is void, etc. I'm sure that the team, the Chelsea Football Club will hedge their bets, no pun intended, you know. So I don't see the risk involved, because if he does do it again when he's under us, we can definitely easily put a clause in there to protect us. So it will void everything.
Yeah, hopefully. I think Roger, as part of what's happened to him, there'll be counselling involved in his rehabilitation. So I think that will already be in place.
No, of course.
Before he plays football again. The next thing I want to talk, I'll talk through the three things briefly. Willian was my favourite player when I first started supporting Chelsea. Willian's my boy. But
he's a great player.
He's too old. He did play well against us last season, but I can't see us taking him. The other one I would talk about is Cherki. He looks like a good player. I've seen comps and stuff. The thing is, he's got that attitude thing where he's seen to be lazy, he won't track back and all that. So I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. So, and Ivan Toney, I don't think it'll happen because of the PR side of it. But you never know, Roger. I'm open to it. I just have my concerns. So what do you think about Toney, Willian and Cherki? Roger? What do you think about the 3 points?
I mean, it does. Okay, you want to go first?
No, go for it, sir. Go for it.
All right, Martin, you go. Toney, then Willian, then Cherki.
Yeah, the thing about Toney is people seem to have this idea that he would come cheap just because he's at Brentford or whatever, but he's an English international. Yeah. He's on a good age. He's physically settled in the league. He's got the goals, he's got the assists, he's got the work rate, he's got everything you need.
He's in his prime.
Yes, in his prime. Like, so they're going to look at the markets and look at, say, Vlahovic being quoted for 80 million and Lautaro 70, and then they could put 70 on him and he'll still be deserving that because you can get some 5 to 6 good years from him. So one, he's not going to come cheap. People seem to assume that he wouldn't. Secondly, on how he fits in with the team and everything, I think it works good. The PR side, yes, might have, some concerns at the start, but once he gets into the shirt, he scores his first goal, all of that would just be water under the bridge. People would
Yep.
just move on so fast. You wouldn't remember all of, everything that happened previously. So I think the main sticking point here is the price. I don't think people are familiar with how much it's gonna cost. So they assume it's going to be like a cheap 30 million, 40 million fee, but it wouldn't.
No way. Yeah.
It wouldn't. And given we already have a Broya and a Jackson, and we seem to be confident enough that Jackson would come through by coming through, I mean some 10 to 15 goals and a good combination with Nkunku and everything going on nice and wonderful for us. So if we can hit that till January, and then we know it's something we can ride on from there, then we wouldn't need a Toney. But if we still have concerns with Broya and Jackson by then,
Exactly.
then we should go in for Toney. We literally should go in for Toney because I don't think we'll be signing any other striker from another league, to do well here. It doesn't work like that. Not with us anyway. So I think everything on counseling, everything on getting his mind straight, getting his priorities right would happen during this period. And I think he might have an interview, somewhere sometime, and he'll talk about some of these things and how he's changed and better, the usual PR stuff to clean him up and everything, and everyone be sympathetic to that.
How
And
cynical of you.
yeah, like we'll see that it happens.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking.
November, December, you begin to see the articles coming out left, right, and then the comps begin to roll out because we know how good he is. He's good at the big games. He's good at the small games. He's fit, both fit.
He's a specimen.
He's athletic. He's everything. He's everything we need to succeed in this league. And
I think you brought up a very good point, and that is the fact he's not eligible to play until January.
Yes,
and the fact that this gives us it's actually perfect for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us the opportunity to evaluate, both our young forwards we have, quote unquote number 9s, with those two, and if Broya obviously isn't recovered then, or Jackson
he could go on
hasn't hit the ground running, then it would behoove us to sign. But if those two are playing so well and we're top of the league, blah blah blah, etc., and we are scoring goals just for fun, then guess what? Then we don't even need to have this discussion.
Exactly, and I feel like people have a rough idea on how easy it is to succeed in the Premier League. What you need is a good conversion. I could literally count the amount of chances Kai Havertz, Modric, Sterling, and the lot of them could have converted, and we would have been in a better position. Like being a striker, you just need to take your chances.
And that's the one thing that we have been blessed with the last 2.5 seasons. Sorry for interrupting. We have created I think under Tuchel, not last season, the season before, we led the league in chances created. So that's not usually an issue for us.
Yeah, James and Chilwell whipping it from the wings. Our strikers will be served up good. So I'm not concerned about that. We have Enzo, the most progressive passer in the Premier League. We discussed about this in January, and I made coach understand that this guy is literally the most progressive passer in the world. And he's coming to the league and he has that statistic. He's been here for 6 months and he owns that statistic.
He has a wide array of passes also. If you notice the type of passes he does, like to João Felix, just that little over the top. He's blessed with the ability, and he's bearing in mind. Yeah, I agree.
He tried out about 4 times. There was one against Tottenham where I think Havertz just fluffed it.
Yeah, I remember.
So we know we have the creativity to back up the strikers. So it's not about service anymore. We have that. We have that nailed now. So it's all about the the strikers taking their chances. And from anything Jackson is known for is his good conversion. So we just need both of them to get on their shooting boats and shoot. Simple as that. And shoot. And by January, you should be close to 8 to 10 goals. Only Watkins can get there. Mitrovic can get there. Awoniyi can get, like, several other normal strikers can get there with less creativity. So it's not too big of a fit. I feel like we've forgotten what a striker should be and how they should, flourish in a system. And we've excused Kai Havertz so much that we're kind of losing that touch of how it's not, you don't have to be the greatest scientist to succeed in the position.
I'm positive with Broja. I've watched him a lot, and he looks like the perfect prototypical player we're looking for. He actually, stylistically is very similar to Kane physically, if you look at him, but he's faster.
And they're so interchangeable. You could start one. If it's not working 60, 70, you bring on the other striker.
Exactly.
And the intensity is on. The person comes in with fresh pace, fresh energy, hunger to leave an impact. And this is what we need. And we need both of them to understand that. We need them to click before January. If not, someone's gonna go out on loan, or someone's gonna be benched for the rest of the season.
I agree with you also, Mitchie, with regards to Willian. He was, I think, for many years my favourite player for Chelsea. If you watch him when the whistle starts and then when the final whistle goes, you can't tell which minute he's playing at, whether it's the first or the 90th plus minute. His energy rate was incredible. I've only ever seen him have one poor game for Chelsea, and that's the first game he returned from Brazil when one of his parents passed, which he shouldn't have participated in for obvious reasons. He's been such a consistent quality at such a high level. But you're right. I think it's best that we move on. I mean, listen, he played so well against us last year twice. He's still a formidable player, but unfortunately, I think it's best we pass. But to me, he's this term is used way too often, but he's a great player.
Yeah, and he's so assured on the ball.
And he's a lovely person too. If you watch him in interviews, he's such a wonderful person.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Cherki then, Roger? What do you think about Cherki?
I don't know enough of him to give comment.
Okay.
I've just seen highlights.
He's talented.
You know what though? Yeah, he doesn't track back. I hear that a bit. But that could be coach. You're 19.
Exactly.
That could be coach. Listen, he's very young. He's a teenager, is he not? He's 19, I think.
Yeah.
So he's a fetus. You can instill discipline at that age. He obviously hasn't been. Listen, you have someone like a Poch and his staff. When I mention Poch, I mean his entire staff. He will see how people play in this league. He will see his peers that people track back. He'll be benched if he doesn't track back. Like, you want to play, you want minutes, then guess what? Because don't forget, his contract will be heavily incentivized. Then he'll learn to track back.
Yeah, and I think the best part of a player like Cherki is what he's good at. He's really, really good at low blocks, and this is what lets Lacazette to flourish. I think he got the golden boot, scoring goals left, right, and center, because players like Cherki would take on 3 men, and they'll keep kicking him, but he just wouldn't. He'll go again in the next 5 minutes and keep on doing that all game, and I think we'll be needing,
And this has been our Achilles heel lately.
Exactly.
Thank you, Roger. They say great minds think alike. That was the exact time I was going to use, but you just did it tap in on me.
You can't give me the same sentence as you, Coach.
Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I feel like, the Southamptons, the Lutons away, the game in Leeds in the middle of December, November, when players 11. Are tired, all those. This is where he comes in. And the fact that the guy is so assured on the ball, it means you can pass it to him, the Maduekes, the Modrics, and it sticks with him. If you want to get it out, you're going to have to take it off him. And that'll be more free kicks for us, yellow cards for the opponents, and then penalties. So at such a young age, it's really weird to see that we are the only ones, in for him in this way.
Why is that?
But
I feel like
PSG went in
PSG
the winter
were.
and got a bid knockback of 35 million. I don't know if it was euros or pounds.
Yeah, it was
So
euros
I
in
don't think this
January.
guy is going to be cheap, and I think all the big teams are going to want him because he is so talented.
They've quoted 40 now. They've quoted 40, but that was in January because they didn't want to sell. You can remember Leon didn't even want to give us Gusto in January. So they were like they weren't going to sell anyone and all of that. So now it's a bit of they're in a financial situation. And we had talks with them last weekend. And then Julian Laurent from the ESPN came out with
Yeah, I
an
know him.
update. And that was confirmed later on in the week. So we've had the interest. We watched him in the under 21s and he's impressed. And we've been following him and all of that, and the age, the price, and the profile of player he is, and he can also fit in on the right wing and on the left. If we have injuries, it could be like a Madueke replacement. He could come in, tuck in, leave the flank open for James to keep running down and whipping them. Like there's flexibility with this young man, and the fact that he's physical enough. I feel like it's so underrated how physical this guy is. He's not small. He is not small. So being that physical and being that good at dribbling is just the perfect recipe to succeed in the Premier League.
And it's
So
a combo that you don't see very often. Usually a player will be physical and then
or lightweight.
Yeah.
So
that, yeah.
just seeing that and the fact that we've sold so many players for a similar amount, we could just look at this as a Pulisic replacement or any replacement. But ultimately, I feel like when we put in our lineup and there's Sterling on the left wing and Madueke on the right wing and Nkunku behind the striker, I feel like Cherki would be the one replacing, coming in for Nkunku in the 70th minute, trying to change the game or play here, play there, or, talk on the left or right. But he's really, really assured on the ball.
Do you know, can I just quickly say, the one thing I did notice when I was watching games of him last night or the night before was for someone that isn't that short, he plays with a kind of a low center of gravity.
Yeah.
I know that sounds contradictory, but he does, though. He plays a bit like Eden Hazard in so many ways. He reminds me of him, but a bigger version.
Yeah, exactly.
Version.
Is it bigger than Hazard?
Yeah, by far.
He is. He is. So
you can see that on the screen, actually, even his head.
He's a big boy, but he doesn't play like someone his height.
And he doesn't even look 19 as well.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
The beards and everything.
I wouldn't card him.
24-year-old.
You've sold me, Martin. You've sold me. I'll buy him.
The things he's good at, he is the best in Europe. Messi have held the expected assist statistic for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
This guy has taken it off Messi.
How pathetic, huh?
Which means he saves getting into the box, expected dribbles into the box, touches into the box, carry-ons into the box, touches received in the attacking penalty boxes. He is the best in Europe. This is not just some promising talent in his league. No, his statistics is everywhere. So finding a player like this early, and bearing in mind PSG went in for him, and of course maybe they were looking to go in for him again, but now they have Asensio.
Just quickly, Martin. Just quickly. I'm still going to leave. I don't know if you still have time, Michi. Just 2 more items we have left. We are talking about checking. Then we have this one. I think it's a day. This says I think it's a day, and Carney will go out on loan. Santos.
Yeah.
This is just my last opinion.
Yeah, I saw that in an interview. Yeah.
Okay, so since Roger is aware of the reporting question, he can introduce that. And the last item being this from a tweet from my friend Harry that talks about the mentality of this kid here, Ian Matson, where he says after Feyenoord released me, that's the Dutch side, age 11. I thought football was over. Then Chelsea wanted me, so he respects that. Chelsea wanted me. I took the opportunity with both hands. I don't say I must be in the Chelsea squad at 21. So he's not asking too much, actually. I do it my way to find my own way up. So I don't worry. I love his mentality, like Harry did say here. So 2 more items after the Cherki talk. And sorry for those of you in the chat. Something is distracting me. I'm home alone with the young boys, so I have to take care of them. Young blues. So you go ahead, but I'll come back in a bit. Go ahead, still over you, and Martin is still talking. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you helping. I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah. So I just feel like we're not going to see the value of players like this until after they've signed and after they've the season has started and things are getting really thick and players are getting injured or on poor form or this and that. And these are the kind of quality you want to have on the bench, coming in the 70th and the 80th.
And eventually be a starter.
Yeah, exactly. And because they're still young,
yeah, but so you have teams like, I'm just bringing Premier League teams. You have teams that like a City, United, Liverpool, etc., that have Newcastle that have amazing scouting departments. Then why are they not going after him equally?
Yeah, but because they don't need him in that way. Like we said, it's all down to need.
Well,
And,
Liverpool doesn't, that's for sure. They have enough forwards, yeah.
Yeah, and perhaps other teams have other midfielders, they're looking at. And this was specific to just Chelsea and PSG. And if PSG is interested with Ocampos, then we know, he's definitely on the right track. And I think, teams, because of how Leon rejected PSG in January, they felt like he wouldn't still be for sale or anything. But after talks with them last week, we just realized that we could do a deal for Cherki, and now everyone's excited about it.
Yeah, Martin, what do you think about Cassidy, Carney, and Santos? What do you think about them possibly getting loaned out or hopefully getting brought into the squad next season?
I think Cassidy needs one more loan. I watched 2 games of him at Reading. He was good. I love seeing him being all confident and trying to ask for the ball and get settled in a team. I feel like if he stays with the squad, he might not get as much playing time because I don't think Enzo and Caicedo will stop playing. I think them two would play every game. I mean, we do once a week already, and their fitness is as good as it can be. So if we're bringing on Cassidy, it's just to give him some minutes, and I don't think we'll be at that point yet because you need to be really comfortable winning 3-0 and 4-0 to be making such subs. So I feel like he needs one more year on loan. And about Kane, I had an unpopular take earlier on, which was loaning him to a lower Premier League side as well for a season. And then
do you not think he's ready to participate in the squad for us?
I think he is, but I think that Gallagher is going to take that position in a way. I feel like people forget we still have Gallagher, and if we are putting out our lineup and everything, and we need midfielders, attacking midfielders from the bench, it's going to probably be one defensive, which we might think of Santos or another midfielder if we sign someone, and if it's attacking, we think of the Gallaghers first before we think of Kane. So I feel like we need to get through the first phase and then get to the Gallagher phase before
assuming there's no injuries also. Don't forget.
Yes, assuming that as well. And I feel like he's gotten to the, he's not had enough minutes for over a year now, and that could get him a little bit rusty. His confidence could be, going low, and the pressure of starting and playing for us.
Yeah.
Any poor touch, any chance missed, anything, it just looked the fan base will cook him. And I feel like he just needs one season away, just one, not so, nothing too dramatic, just one good season away. It could be in Germany, it could be in the Premier League, preferably in the Premier League, like a Luton, where he competes with someone of similar quality and he gets to play sometimes. And they start up in the cups earlier, so he gets to play that as well. And I feel like that'll do his confidence a lot of good. And then Gallagher has this season. If he does well, good. If he doesn't, then we might put him up for sale. And then Kane will come in as his direct replacement next summer. That was my idea at the time. And people, agreed and some disagreed.
Santos then, Martin?
I think Santos is a bit ready. He's been playing top level football at the Brazilian league with adults for a good while now. I think physically he's strong enough. He's smart, and he plays in a role where he could be box to box, he could be holding, and I think he's technically sound enough to be take on the roles that Poch would demand of him and everything, and being a team. He's not going to start, but if Enzo's getting a little tired, 80, 75, or in the cup games, he could come in and do a job. He's got a lot of fight, a lot of grit. And I think he's a bit more ready than the rest based on playing time and the amount of experience he's had so far.
What do you think, Roger, about the three boys?
I think out of all three of them, I think Santos will be given the greater chance because I believe that on the upside, the ceiling level, his potential is higher than any of them. I really do. I think
Caceres is.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking about based on the level of experience all three of them have thus far. But I know what you're saying. You talk, yes, I get different players altogether. Actually,
Caceres might be a bit of a Jude Bellingham.
Yes, but a more of a number 6 though, wouldn't you say so?
I feel like I watched him against Italy. I watched him play for Italy and and he was really, really box to box. And there's this aggression that comes with him playing box to box.
He's big for his age.
Yeah, he feels alive. Like when I watched him play deeper, he was nice and calm and trying to be, good and tidy on the ball. But when he was allowed the freedom of playing box to box, I think I felt like he was a different player, and I think he's gonna do well, in that role than the six most people think.
Didn't they play England?
Yeah. I watched that too. He was, he was really alive.
And what did you think of Carney in that game? Carney was good in that game, no?
Yeah, he was. He seemed a bit jet lagged, but yeah, he showed his quality. I was really impressed by him.
I watched all 6 games in the tournament, and I was really impressed with quite a few English players. But Carney looked good.
Yeah, he was very.
So did Levi, to be honest with you.
of course. So the boys are doing well. Like we are blessed, and this is the kind of thing that gives you joy for the future because our scouting department have gone out and got these gems. And they're still going out to find more gems.
Yeah, they're a bit raw, but you're right, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I would like to see at least 2 out of the 3 stay. Because you're going to need depth. Also, we're going to have a squad approximately 25 to 26 in size.
Yeah.
What's his name? Poch doesn't like anything bigger than 25, 26 maximum. So I'm hoping that at least 2 of them will stay for the season.
Kanya Santos will.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I think Kanya Santos will.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Carney also, but I'd be very disappointed if all 3 are loaned out. I'd be very disappointed.
No, I think Santos is definitely staying.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't have a lot of DM, holding defensive cover. I don't think we'll be signing anyone in that.
Can I ask one quick question? Do you think everyone is assuming that it's going to be a 4-2-3-1, but it could be a 4-3-3?
Yeah.
But also like equivalent of a 4-1 or actually a 3-4-3, 3
at the back.
Yeah. No. It's a hybrid with a 4, but like you put one of your midfielders into a back 3 when we have the ball. This is what.
Yeah, but Poch, I feel like Poch is from that Sir Alex mode, the Bielsa mode where they know what works for them and they just get players to fit into that. And I think when he started off, at Tottenham, people really forget how good Tottenham were at White Hart Lane before they decided to move.
Yeah, they were in the top 2 in defense each year, yes.
Yeah, and the intensity they played with, just the intensity. And for you to have that intensity.
And he starts up front with the closing down. That's how he's transitioned.
Exactly.
And with the ball, it's assumed that we're going to probably have 2 at the back, but with one of the midfielders for transition purposes. If we lose the ball, which we'll obviously do, then we'll have a back 3 until a back 4 can be established when we're out of possession. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why the double pivot is what makes the system work in the way it works. So when we have Enzo and Caicedo sitting, down at the halfway line, they won't be as advanced as most people would maybe want. Enzo can ping the ball from anywhere. I'm not even concerned about that.
But the only thing is, though, Caicedo doesn't have the physicality, the height to actually drop back into a back 3. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
but Tchouameni would.
his heading, and jump leap ratios are really good. I think he's aware of that.
Like a Cucurella, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's aware of that, and he always tries to overcompensate and be all dominant in the air. And I feel like if that works for the 10% of the time, that's good. And his positioning and the amount of distance he covers. I think people underestimate
He's
the amount of
Kante-esque.
yeah, and
I
that's why
know.
when I see people discussing about him and Tchouameni doesn't even reach half the distance Caicedo covers. This guy is on the right wing, he's in the right back, he is everywhere. I
No, he
think that
reminds me of Kante a lot. He really does.
yeah, and in a full season of 45 games, that goes a long way more than any height would ever give you from your midfield. Covering the distance, following from one dribbler to the next dribbler, tackling one midfielder to the next midfielder. The
Yeah,
man
but
marking.
he's going to be predominantly lying deep, I believe.
Yeah. He will.
He will. But assuming that we use that formation.
I think Poch will, because I feel like Poch have gone like 5 years, 6 years of that walking, and at PSG he had the whole
Of course. Well, he
Mbappe
couldn't do
thing.
that. Yeah, he couldn't do that. Yeah.
So he just adjusted, and to some extent, maybe that was why it didn't really work out.
No.
Much.
I listen. You can't grade anyone based on that locker room
PSG.
because that's an anomaly. Let's just move on from that.
Yeah.
The three boys.
What about you,
have
Mitchie?
been linked-
Do you think? What do you think's going to happen to those three boys?
They've all been linked with loans away. There has been stories,
Yeah.
but personally, I think Santos has to be given a chance because the guy could be really special. I think the other two boys are pretty special as well, but I think they may get loaned out. But it all depends who we bring in and how many more experienced players we bring in. We might be forced to keep Gallagher. I think they could possibly, if a bid came in, they would push Gallagher out as well. But it depends what we can get in.
Pure profit.
At the moment, we've got nothing in. Caicedo's a possibility. They're looking at the other Celta Vigo boy, Gabi Veiga.
Yeah.
So he's got a release clause, so that's a easy deal to do. That guy's got a high ceiling. He scored 10 goals last season. He's an attacking mid. So he would be a lot cheaper than, say, your Cherki. But I don't know. If other teams start coming in for Cherki, they might want too much money. And it might end up too much.
So where is Cherki's best position, gentlemen?
It's an attacking mid. Just,
So it's like a number 8.
Yeah, like a number 8. But it's the kind of number 8 that floats into like a left wing or a wing.
But in a 4-2-3-1, where does he fit in? He doesn't really fit in, does he?
Is the center of the tree, like I said, just the Nkunku replacement.
Yeah, okay. So I was about to say that's Nkunku's spot.
Yeah, behind the striker. So it's more of him drifting left, so combined with the wingers and right as well, like that.
Sorry, guys, could you not hear me very well? I think I was sitting too far away from my microphone.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody in the chat said I was
and he
too
can
low.
fit in on the wings as well.
Yeah, occasionally. I think we have depth in the wings.
We need to see how Poch is going to play, and then the players can get fitted into that. So if he's playing a certain way and he lets the guys above know the way he's going to play, then if Cherki fits in, we'll sign him. But if Cherki doesn't fit in, I hope we don't do what we've did before and buy players that don't fit the way we play.
No, he will. I think that's the good thing about him, is that his flexibility shines even when the system might not really accommodate the certain position. Because he's two-footed, because he's really assured on the ball, he could dribble from either wing and all of that. He fits into almost every hole. He's like the Kai Havertz we wished Kai Havertz was. So that's how
Do you know, when I was watching highlights of Cherki a couple of days ago, I couldn't tell which foot he favoured.
Exactly.
It's very much like an Eden Hazard in that regard. He's got a very strong left and right foot.
Yeah.
Which is rare.
And he plays free kicks with both foots as well. Like it's rare. It's really rare.
Wow, that is rare.
Yeah.
I haven't seen his free kick.
It's really okay. And with the age of 19, imagine what he would be at 25 and 27.
Yeah, he's not even close to his prime.
Yeah, and the physicality, we just know he's gonna strive, and this comes from the science of the scouting we've been doing, the scouting that gave us Casadei and the Carnes and the Santos and Badia Chile and Madueke, is part of that knowledge or part of that scouting. And seeing his name being added to that is just a positive.
Well,
Because even as
I put that down to the sporting directors, and obviously including with Vivell, based on the philosophy which we wish to play. You have to say that Win Stanley and the other chap, that they have done very well indeed. That they've exceeded, in my opinion, especially the last window. I was very impressed with the last window.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think who's the other chap.
And that's why even if you might not really understand the signing or know the player, you can trust in the history of signings and the assessment of young players who've been scouting. And I feel like people just need to see the history of that and put their faith in that scouting, because it will just keep bringing up more talents like the ones we've already gotten and more talents in the future.
I want to say quickly thank you to Michi. You've been an excellent host, and Martin and Roger. I know I missed quite a lot because I think there's a great chemistry here, and hopefully I'd have time to join on Michi's YouTube channel. I think I'll try the best I can today. Even if I'm able to make it today, I'm not going to be on camera because I'll be with the boys, and they're not of the age where you can say you leave them and do something else and be comfortable. The house is not going to burn down. But I want to thank you, Michi. I appreciate you. I loved you, and I love you even more now. I appreciate how you handled it. Roger can, but you're the most suitable because you're on camera. Roger, he's a good host too, and I'm sure Martin will be a good host. Hopefully I get the time to train him. If we can host shows, then that will make it easier on me. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you, Martin, Roger, Chelsea, all the way. All of you in the chat, apologies. I can't even say goodbye to people. But I appreciate you all. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.